Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is iconic silver box, Dan Ryan.
That is exactly how you should describe my box. 100%.
Haha, old man Bush. It's time for the next installment of SAG Standouts. This time we're talking about the NES. What 5 games would you say best represent the system? Blow real hard into those cartridges, because the Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
I will.
Hi everyone, this is episode 627. It is the week of July 17th, 2026, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. Speaking of which, how are you now?
So I'm way less hot than I was last week.
That's good.
It is, I mean, it's still hot down here. It's about 90-something in the annex right now. But that's doable.
That's chump change.
The 100 and whatever the fuck it was last week. I don't know how it came across in the video or the podcast, but I got upstairs and I was like, oh, I don't feel good. Like maybe that was too long down there. I should put more beer in myself. Yeah, so I don't know. This week, certainly better, but I did want to start off with a piece of really good news. So I had an oncology appointment yesterday. Today's Friday. Yeah, yesterday. I had an oncology appointment, and I went in and I was talking with my doctor, and he did the feeling under here, all this feels good, and then he got to my port, which is, right here. Oh, the microphone's on the way. Right here on my chest. Look, I'll even show you. Can I pull it down? You can see the fucking port sticking out of my skin right down here. And he was like, how does that feel? And I was like, I mean, well, if I'm being honest, I fucking hate it. I can feel it all the time. I've never, assimilated it into my body, because it's not fucking supposed to be there. And the entire time it's there, that means that at any moment I can go back in and have to get more chemo, and I don't think you can see it too well on the camera, but right here on my collarbone, this is where the cord kind of comes up and wraps around. It's just, I can feel it all the fucking time. And he was like,
Have you tried IVing beer into it?
Oh man, that's a really good idea. Never mind. I think I've got some stuff upstairs that I could make that happen. I don't know that that's a great idea because it goes right into my heart. But I don't know that it's not a great idea. So we're talking about it. He was like, all right, so here's what we're going to do. My blood work came back. Everything smack dab in the middle of the green. Everything that they tested for. Even fucking cholesterol and shit. Even that's fine. Everything right exactly where it's supposed to be. He was like, all right, you've got your follow-up appointment October 8th. Depending on how everything looks then, knock on wood, I'll schedule you to have it taken out. And I was like, that's you said 5 years when we started this journey. And he was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, all right, but and now you're saying 2 years after... essentially 2 years after my last chemo, I get to have it out, not 5 years after. And he was like, I don't see any reason to keep it in. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to keep hoping then, because that's the moment, that day that I have that surgery and this comes out. That's when I will have my full, I won, this is over breakdown. You know what I mean? Because I rang the bell with the last chemo treatment and I have the paper of all the nurses that signed it and like, you know, read the poem out loud and did like, I did all of that stuff. But up until the point that this comes out, it's still, for me, not over, right? It's over, but it's not. I haven't let myself feel that, like, wave of emotions yet. Yeah, I didn't think you would.
Not until that thing's gone. No.
Yeah, until that's gone, we're not done yet. You know, there's still a thing in here that I got to come back and you flush.
Like, well, just in case, we got to leave that there just in case. Like, so it's and look, the only cancer scare that you should have going forward is a new one.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
the same one the rest of us have.
Yeah, exactly. You know, my chances are a little bit higher because, like, one of the predictors of getting cancer in the future is, you know, having had cancer. Yeah. So, you know, my chances are a little higher than everybody else's, but also, so, like, that was just outstanding news to get yesterday. And I'm just like, all right, let's fucking, because I am a fucking mess every time I'm waiting for the blood work to come back. Because I'm just waiting this entire time to get the blood work done and then look at whatever count it would be that's way high or way low, when it's like, oh, fuck, all right, now we got to do X, Y, Z. And every time it's been good this whole time. So especially in October, it's like a week after my birthday, I'm going to go in to get the blood work, and my phlebotomist, who's been this legitimately, I've had, since I started this journey with blood work every other week, and now, you know, throughout treatment and all through that summer of getting diagnosed, all that stuff, I've probably had my blood drawn 150 times over the course of these last, like, year and a half. I have had Nikki, who's a really cute blonde phlebotomist, and I told her she's really cute, and Tiff said she was really cute, so I'm allowed to say that on the show. Because she is. She's lovely and sweet. She has probably drawn my blood 147 out of the 150 times. Like, she was just always there. So she's been with me this entire time, and, like, I'm going to have to tell her in October that we have to break up, and I'm very much looking forward to telling her that we have to break up. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a weird thing. It's a weird place to be. But boy, am I going to be a mess in October. Like, but what if it goes back and is because that's the face I make when I come home. And Tiff is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not sexy. Don't do that. I'm like, you don't think this is sexy? What if I flex? You know, I'll put something away while I'm crying.
You are not allowed to do anything that isn't sexy.
Oh, thank you very much. But yeah, so good news. Kind of, you know. Yeah.
That's wonderful news. Yeah. I love it. Well, speaking of things that we love, let's talk about the Nintendo Entertainment System. Because we've got some work to do tonight. This was a tough one. So it is the Alphabet Super Series, except it's not. That was last week.
Except it isn't.
SAG Standouts. This is where we talk about, we pick 5 games that we think best represent a system, or personal choices, not like these are the 5 best games, or these are my 5 personal favorite games. Just what do we personally believe best represents the platform? What are the 5 games? And we've done a handful of these before, and they were fun little exercises. But this is the first real challenge, because how do you narrow down the NES library to 5 games? That's a tough one.
It was tough, but it was also easier than I thought it was going to be.
I got 3 of them very easily, and actually, no, I got 2 of them very easily, and then the other ones I struggled with quite a bit. So, let's get started. Who wants to go first?
Should lead us off.
I should lead us off? Okay. Well,
yes.
Are we doing this in alphabetical order like we usually do?
As always. Well, I suppose, what letter does your first game begin with?
B.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, go ahead. Lead us off.
Okay, now this is going to be this is an odd pick, but let me explain. My first choice for the letter B, well, not for the letter B, but for NES Standouts. 5 games, the best to find the platform. And again, got to take this as the whole. Not you. Like just this one game. This is to me, and also this stack of 5, I believe, best represents. Not like each individual one over everything else. Like, look at my list holistically. My first pick is Blades of Steel.
What?
Let me explain.
Wow. So, you said B. I thought Balloon Fight or Blaster Master surely is what... Blades of fucking Steel.
Blades of Steel. Again, let me explain. So, in having a top 5, and not top 5, in having some way to represent the NES, you have to have Konami represented in some way, shape, or form. Because of the very specific way Konami games look and sound. They're integral to the NES experience, is hearing that very specific Konami drum sound effect, and that cheering crowd sound that they do, and all that stuff that makes Konami games, right down to the box art. This silver box, right? Like the Konami games that look like this. All of that is such an integral part of the NES experience. So I thought about several Konami games, and then I looked at the rest of the games that I wanted to pick, and none of the other games that I would pick, like Contra or Castlevania or any of that stuff, outdid other things that I felt better represented that type of game in the rest of my list. But what I didn't have was something that was multiplayer and something that was a sports game. Multiplayer was really tough to nail down. Again, Contra covers multiplayer quite well, but scrolling platformers that are also shooters, I've got that covered elsewhere. Multiplayer, again, Contra, that's a great pick, but again, I have that stuff covered elsewhere. The rest of what Contra is. Blades of Steel is still fantastic to play multiplayer. It's an excellent sports game. It's just as fun to play today as it was 30 years ago. It's an absolute blast. It is well done in every way, shape, or form. You've got lots of gameplay elements that ice hockey doesn't have, like the penalty shots, the way the fights work. They go to the separate screen. You've got the occasionally playing Gradius during the break between the second and third period. Everything about this game is marvelous. And yeah, you could say Tecmo Bowl, you could say Baseball Stars, because sports games are a big part of what made the NES generation so special in what it is, right? There's a simplicity to 8-bit NES sports games that modern sports games simply don't have. And it got more complicated on Super Nintendo. Exactly. Yeah. But back on the NES, when you just had those 2 buttons, there's so much fun to be had with sports games. I absolutely love them. And for my money, especially because of the Konami representation, I think it's better than Double Dribble. I think this is just as good a multiplayer game as Contra, potentially even more replayable than Contra because it's competitive.
Yeah.
Blades of Steel gets my first pick.
Wow. I do not have any. I do not have any Konami games on my list.
I think that's tragic.
Castlevania was the last one I cut.
I have a stack of games that I cut that we'll talk about afterwards.
Yeah. And not even like Castlevania 3, but like the first Castlevania, which I know is lunacy to some people, but I like
I like Castlevania better than Castlevania 3, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, my first game, and I'm curious, I'm also really curious how many of our games are going to be the same. I think this is one of the only ones that potentially is going to be the same game. My first game. Oh, how much, before I go, how much is Blades of Steel? How much does that loose go for?
I didn't even look that up. I forgot we were doing that.
Yeah.
Pricecharting.com. Blades of Steel.
Pissed his pants.
Complete in box, $40. Loose, $8.
Oh, all right.
Also, there's a different version of Blades of Steel that is a classics series. And I say series because it's the only one I've ever seen that's like it. I have the loose cart in my closet. It's got a red border around the label. That one loose goes for $17.88 and $116 complete. I have only ever seen the one that I own, and it's just the cartridge. I've never even seen in person a boxed copy of this classic series. But Blades of Steel, as is, boom, there you go.
I did not know that there was a different version of that. I only ever knew of the one. Anyway. So my first game. The one game that I think may be on here with your list as well. I'm trying to find... I forgot to look up the inbox price. I just have the loose price. So I'm stalling for time and not doing a very good job of...
Been doing a lot of stalling for time this week.
Yeah, we really have. This is weird. All right, so loose price is $33. Complete in box, $143. My first pick is The Legend of Zelda. I mean,
yes, that is on my list.
We don't need to defend this pick. It is simply one of the best games ever made. It is just so incredibly well done from top to bottom. It's one of those, like, people, I think rightly so, the original Super Mario Brothers gets a lot of credit for teaching people how to play side-scrolling platforming video games. Just everything about that first level in Super Mario Brothers is so very intentional, right? Of just the timing of the jumps and all of those things. It's incredibly well thought out. I don't think The Legend of Zelda gets nearly enough attention for teaching people how to play adventure games, right? In the way that Legend of Zelda games operate. It is just simply one of the greatest games ever made. The music is fantastic. The story is fantastic. The gameplay is perfect. It's incredibly well balanced. The sense of exploration, the sense of achievement of figuring things out, even down to, like, right, the little cleverness of making it look like you're walking down through the dungeons and climbing down ladders and up, like, just everything that went into that game is so incredibly clever. It's just absolutely brilliant.
I couldn't agree more. You want me to talk about it now or no? I'll talk about it now since we're already on the subject. This is my copy of Legend of Zelda from when I was a kid, gold cart. This actually really almost didn't make my list. I put a lot of thought into whether or not to include this one, and I ultimately landed on it because I didn't pick a standard RPG, and something should be there with that kind of RPG elements, which another of my games kind of has that as well, so we'll kind of scratch that itch, but The Legend of Zelda, again, is one of those experiences on the platform that is... I think it's not as unintuitive as it may seem to be on the surface. Like, now it's hard for me to grade that by modern standards because I know the game, like I have it all memorized, but the logic is there on how to get from point A to point B, on how to find the dungeons and then what to do in the dungeons.
It makes sense.
It does. It makes sense.
It is not obtuse. It is. I know, comparatively speaking to games today, yes, it's obtuse. There's no tutorial. It doesn't hold your fucking hand throughout
There's
the entire
nothing that
experience.
tells you got to burn this one bush to get to to level 8, except for the fact that if you explore the whole game, there's this one bush that's in your way blocking a path. and you know that you can burn bushes, so of course you're going to burn that bush eventually. You know, there's
you just go burning every fucking bush that you can from there.
Go nuts.
It's just so well done.
But it's not like in Metroid, where Metroid is like, well, here's 9 rooms that look exactly the same, and they're going to lead you to dead ends, and the only way to get past this is by bombing through something you couldn't tell you could have bombed before. Like,
right.
Zelda, I think, does a better job than Metroid does in that respect, in being accessible and giving you that sense of reward for beating the bosses and getting through the super difficult dungeons. And as the whole second quest, it's just one of those games that I think really helps. It really defines what the NES could be. And I don't think any of the games that are like it, like Crystallis or anything, I don't think any of those games come close to accomplishing what The Legend of Zelda does as far as still being a good game today.
I agree 1,000%.
It is on my list for that very reason.
All right. What you got next?
All right, the next game is also a B game, and this shouldn't come as too terribly surprising. It is Blaster Master.
Bugs Bunny. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Bugs Bunny Crazy Cat Birthday Blowout. That's it. No,
that's the one I thought you were going with.
So Blaster Master. This is the game that has sort of RPG elements to it, as in like you don't really level up, but you. This does Metroid better than Metroid, I think. As far as it being an exploratory game where you get power-ups that give you access to new areas, that's kind of what this is all about. And I think this is one of the most well-designed ones on the platform. First off, visually speaking, when it comes to art direction, making a game look better than it is, this is one of the best at it on the platform. There's a thing about the graininess in this game's visuals that make them seem more detailed than they are. And the way the art direction works for all the sprites, they seem really detailed, even though they're not. It's got an amazing, amazing soundtrack from top to bottom. The interconnected world involves not too much backtracking. It involves the right kind of backtracking, the kind of backtracking where you'll get to an area, you'll see something and say, well, I feel like I should be able to get there. Not like there's something sitting there. It's like, oh, what's this way? There's a bunch of spikes on that wall. How am I going to be able to get past that eventually? And then you remember where that is, because there's not that many of them. Like that cliff at the very first screen of the game that's so memorable, and then you just, as soon as you get hover, it's like, I want to know what's on top of that cliff. So you go back, and then there are shortcuts on the way back to get you there faster. It's so meticulously, perfectly designed. It is such a wonderful game, and that even doesn't even take into consideration the top-down segments, which aren't as good as the car segments, but they are still pretty darn cool. And the weapons you can get, of course, it's flawed. All NES games are flawed, but this Blaster Master just encapsulates that kind of adventure game. Like, you started to see that kind of stuff in Rygar. You saw that stuff in Metroid, in Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. And I think Blaster Master does that better than any of the rest of those games. It looks better. It sounds incredible. It still plays incredibly well. It's just a great, great game. And I think it does a great job of illustrating what this kind of game can be on the NES.
Yeah, I mean, you get no argument from me. I think Blaster Master is fucking criminally underrated. Let me ask you this, though. Just out of curiosity.
Okay.
I agree with you. Every point you just made. Blaster Master, better than Metroid. Do you think Blaster Master is better than Zero Mission?
No,
I don't think so. Okay,
No,
just out of curiosity. Like, you think Zero Mission fixes enough of the problems of the original? For sure. Okay,
absolutely.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no question. I mean,
I don't know that I agree. I don't know that I agree. I would have to think about it. But I don't.
See, now
I don't know that I agree.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I am second guessing myself. No, because Blaster Master does have. Zero Mission doesn't have those top-down segments. It doesn't have the ability to get out of your, that kind of get out of your car, that duality, but those top-down segments have a lot of problems in Blaster Master. There's a lot of bugginess in Blaster Master.
Yeah.
There are things in Metroid Zero Mission, I think, that are corrected enough that make that game, and adding the whole Zero Mission stuff at the end, like the brief stealth segment, and then the overwhelming power you get from that. The new bosses that it adds are very cool. Now, granted, Blaster Master does also have incredibly cool bosses. It's close. It is.
Yeah.
But I think that's tough.
I don't know. I didn't mean
Zero
to, like,
Mission is better, but it is a better game. But I don't really know. Like, Blaster Master is a bit more rough around the edges, but because Zero Mission is way newer, Zero Mission has the benefit of all this refinement from all these decades of games that came, decade that came between it. Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is. Yeah, no, outstanding pick, though. Absolutely adore Blaster Master. Also one of the ones that was cut from my list. But I cannot argue with its inclusion. Next on my list. So I thought about this for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds and decided, fuck it, it's going on there. You could pick up a copy, a loose copy, for $2,358, or a complete and box copy of $5,000. But Little Samson has made my list. And there is a very, very simple reason that Little Samson has made my list. It is because when I think of, like, why would I include Castlevania 3, right? One of the reasons that I would include Castlevania 3 is because of the level design and how clever those levels are and how fun it is to go around that world. Why would I include a Ninja Gaiden title in this? Fluidity of the combat. That game feels great to play. You know, and as I started going through the list and I was like, well, why would I include this? Why would I include that? I was like, yeah, but like Little Samson does all of it. And it does all of it so fucking well. Like, this game is not at all worth the price of entry. It is not worth $2,300 fucking dollars for a loose copy. It's just, I don't know that any game is. I can't imagine a game being worth that much money. That being said, Little Samson is about as perfectly tuned an NES game as you can possibly get. It controls impeccably well. And not only does it control impeccably well, each of the 4 characters that you can switch to at any time that also play wildly different from each other with their own strengths and weaknesses, and which also plays into the cleverness of the design and the levels and all of those things, they all control equally as well. It's not like you're playing, you know, as the dragon and you turn into the mouse and you're like, oh, well, this fucking sucks. This doesn't control. Like, no, it's all fucking great. The differences in those characters are so fun and make so much sense. And the mouse, KO the mouse, having basically the bomb attack from Metroid, right? Being the strongest attack in the game, but also having the smallest health bar. You know, like they balanced everything just incredibly well. The boss fights, super fucking cool. Really, really well done. The music, outstanding. The visuals in this game, unsurprisingly for being an NES game that came out in fucking 1992 or whenever the fuck it came out, it's one of the best, if not the best looking game on the platform. Little Samson is not worth the money, but I would argue that it is worth the hype. I think this game is that good that if money were no object, I think it would have to go on the list. It is absolutely brilliant. And I only played it for the first time maybe 10 years ago. And I mean, it's tough like an NES game, but it's also fair. You know, like there's not a lot of sections where I'm like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. You know, like it's tough but fair. And after I finished my playthrough of it, I was like, man, why the fuck haven't I played this sooner? You know, because I've had a shmemulated copy forever. You know, I'm never going to have that game physically. You know, that's unobtainium at this point. It's also, even if I did have the money, I wouldn't spend that much on a fucking NES cart. But that being said, like, I was mad after I got done playing it that I hadn't played it before because it was that good, right? Similarly to how I felt about, or I think how you felt to Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. Like, after you got done playing through that game, you're like, oh, fuck, didn't I play this years ago? This game's incredible. Yeah. What the shit, man? Nobody fucking told me. Right? Because the main thing, the main point of discussion with Little Samson is always the price. Yeah. Or the one dickhead who shows up at the convention that has 10 copies just because he's fucking in there waving it in everybody's face. Like, all right, dude, you're super fucking cool. Nobody likes you. You know what I mean? The actual discussion of the gameplay is really much less frequent. And I think
you don't
that's
really
a fucking
hear people
shame.
Talk about that a lot. Like, it's actually a legitimately great game. It's not like that Flintstones game or whatever. It's
right. That game fucking sucks. It sucks. Like, it's not great.
I've never
Little
played
Samson.
I wouldn't know. Little Samson I have played, and it is great. It's a legitimately great game.
It is great.
Yeah, I think it's a bold pick. But I agree with pretty much everything you said. It does a great job of it does a really good job of illustrating what the NES was capable of on a technical level.
Yes.
Which is what, you know, there were a couple of games that I didn't put on there to specifically showcase that. But yeah, that's a very solid pick for all the reasons that you said. I don't have quite the same reverence for it that you do. I think the way you feel about Little Samson is the way I feel about Gimmick. I get that. Absolutely adore Gimmick. And that almost made my list. I can. Yeah, this close to making my list. But I find if there were other games that I looked at and said this does that, not necessarily better, but I think overall more. I guess better is the word. Like, Gimmick is an extraordinary game. But I have other picks that I think fill that niche more importantly.
I get that. And I think the last thing I'll say about Little Samson is that I do think, because like when you go and look at like the list of best NES games, you know, and you hear like people talk about the best NES games, I think this one doesn't always show up where it should, because it's one of those ones, I think very similarly to Gimmick, that people just haven't played.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't know what you're missing. Like, the first person I heard talk about Gimmick was you.
Yeah.
And I've been in this shit for my whole life.
It never came out in North America. You know, it's just one of those things. Little Samson may as well have never come out in North America. It just, so few people had it. It just wasn't around.
I wonder, do you put any stock into the idea that one of the reasons it didn't sell is because they didn't make a lot of copies of it. It was 92, you know, people had moved on. But do you put any stock into the idea that it didn't sell well because people thought it was a Bible game? Because that's kind of been one of the things held against it, of like, Bible game, like, I'm not buying some fucking Christian game. Those games all suck. This is about Samson.
I don't think so.
I don't know that I put any stock in that, but I
don't put any stock in that, no.
Yeah. I had seen that for the first time today.
Like, who knows? But I've never actually heard that before, but I don't think that's the case. Okay, this next one was another tough call, and I had a pretty long conversation with Mike Sheridan about it this morning.
Oh.
But the next pick on my list is Mega Man 3. A lot of glare there when I hold it up this way. All right. Now, I know we have this disagreement about Mega Man 2 versus Mega Man 3, and I really did struggle because part of me really wanted to put Mega Man 2 on this list, because I guess the question is 3 as good as it is only after having played 2? Like, the Doc Robots. You get more out of fighting the Doc Robots if you have already beaten them in Mega Man 2. Like, noticing that Mega Man's controls are tighter. The slide, rush. Like, rush is in evolution of the items from Mega Man 2. The slide doesn't exist in Mega Man 2. Mega Man's more slippery in 2. He climbs ladders faster in 3. The menu opens quicker in 3. The Dr. Wily Castle thing goes by faster in 3. There's twice as many stages. Not twice as many, but there's more stages because of the Doc Robot stages. The game, it just has more length. It is a more refined version of that game. So I thought to myself, look, Mega Man 2 is an absolute masterpiece. So should that be the one that makes the list? But I still went with my gut that I would rather play 3 than 2. And again, with the technical stuff, there are things that 3 does visually that 2 doesn't quite pull off, like, because this is Capcom we're talking about. They just kept iterating on their ability to make games look amazing on the NES. Yeah. And they, like, the big dog is really cool looking in Mega Man 2, but the big cat in Mega Man 3 is also really cool. Like the giant metal robots in Mega Man 3, Gamma, the giant like screen filling boss in Mega Man 3. There's really no wrong answer on this one, but my heart told me to go with Mega Man 3 because I think it is ultimately the better game. I find it a bit more playable. It's tighter, and this covers the shooter thing. This is why Contra didn't make the list, because if I'm going to pick a game that's about running and gunning, Mega Man 3 does that better than Contra. It doesn't do it co-op, but that's why you have Blades of Steel, right? And also you've got to have a Capcom representation, because Capcom's style on NES was a big part of the system's identity.
Very much.
Mega Man 3 it is.
I disagree, because my next game is Mega Man 2. For a lot of the reasons that you said for Mega Man 3, and the things you said about Mega Man 2, I go back to 2. I think it's a better game. I think I like the Robot Masters better in 2. I don't like fighting them in 3. I don't like that part of 3.
Oh, I love that part of 3.
I find it unnecessary padding at the end. I don't hate fighting them, but
because you got to get to them, and then you got to figure out, but I don't have any of their weapons, so I got to figure out which ones of these weapons are going to work for these guys. Like I love that about that.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I think the one thing that holds me back at times is the slide. But Mega Man 2 was designed without the slide, so it doesn't need it, right? Would it feel better with the slide? You can make that argument, whatever. As the Mega Man games evolved, the slide became,
3 is built around having that ability.
Right. But for my money, Mega Man 2, I think, is just slight. I know we go back and forth on this all the time, right? Of like, you're a fucking asshole. How could you pick 3?
Like, we're picking between like which is your favorite orgasm,
Right, yeah. I was going to go with which is your favorite Van Gogh, but yeah, how do you like to come, I suppose, is about the same. I'm a power top, obviously.
Don't I know it?
I know you're, yeah, okay. No, I'm just going to stop. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think Mega Man 2 is slightly better designed. I like the level design slightly better. I like the Robot Masters in 2 more than I like the Robot Masters in 3. Not that I dislike the ones in 3. Yeah. I like the cast of 2 just a little bit better. I agree, though. You absolutely if you are saying what are the best games on the NES, Mega Man has to be in there somewhere. It can't be Mega Man 1.
It can't be 1. And I think there is a case to be made for 6. But I don't agree with it, but I think there is a case to be made for 6. Like 6 has the rush adapters, which is super cool. 6 has the multiple exits, the beat letters that you connect. It's got the what as I said, the rush adapters. Great music, some really cool Robot Master designs. But again, the Robot Master designs for me, 3 has my favorites, like Magnet Man and Spark Man. I love the Snake Man. I love these designs. And that's not to say that I don't love Flash Man's wacky ass chin strap. But I think Metal Man and Quick Man are among the best ones they ever made. Like, they're just fantastic. Wood Man is awesome, but then again, so is Hard Man.
I fucking love Bubble Man so much. I love that level. I like the music a little bit better in 2. 3 soundtrack is incredible. I think 2's a little bit better. You know, so like, it's just all of those things that ultimately push me to 2. But I will say what we always say when we get to this part of the Mega Man discussion. Either way.
Yeah,
you're in for a good time.
Winning. Yeah, you're in for a good time.
Mega Man 2 is $32 loose, and which is the Mega Man games are surprisingly affordable, I think, for how good they are, right? Like, the only Mega Man game loose that's like fucking nuts is 5. 5 loose is $150.
Is that way?
I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know why 5 is so much more expensive. But
I feel
Mega
like that
Man
didn't
2
used
loose,
to be the case either.
I know. 2 loose is $32. Complete in box is $193. Yeah.
Did I say 3 is 25 loose, 145 complete? I don't remember if I said that.
You did not. But like that, even you could even make the argument that if we were doing this under the old rules and you had $100 to spend, $55 on Mega Man 2 and 3 would not be unheard of. Like, that is a solid use of $55.
A lot of good times there. Holy cats. Mega Man 5 screw version is loose $6,500?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
I don't know. Is that the one I have? Oh, no.
I'm just wondering if that's the one that I have. I'm pretty sure I had a 5 screw version at one point and I let it go, but
I doubt it.
Maybe
Hold
I'm
on.
Crazy.
Let's
find out. BRB.
I very rarely get to go pull up NES games. Sitting over here in my top loader. Ugh. Wah wah. Ugh. Only 3 screws. Only 3.
Let's see. Do I have a whole lot of money in my hands here?
Because you can bet your ass, if this one would have been 5 screws, it was going on fucking eBay tonight.
Yeah. I'll buy a 3 screw one any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I'm going to say no. Yeah, 3 screw.
Boo hiss.
Oh, well.
Yep.
Boo hiss. I feel confident that because I used to have the one that had the circle on it, right? But my box and manual are the oval seal ones. So I got rid of my circle seal one so that my box and manual would match. And I suspect that was a dumb thing to do.
I certainly do not have the box and manual. I have our bit boxes.
Yes,
that you can pick up from StoneAgeGamer.com.
Indeed, they're quite
I feel like
lovely.
I should have been doing this the whole time. Hold, please.
And then Dan left. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Oh, I have our bit boxes.
Oh, nice. Oh, you don't have this guy, the crazy, terrible box art.
And like this one, I don't actually keep in the bit box. I keep this like on display in my top loader.
I see you've got the Circle Seal one. But it's not a Circle Seal flat screw.
Yeah. Which I suppose I'm going to switch that out now. I switch it out kind of periodically. I'll pop one in, but I'll pop in Mega Man 2 from now on. But yeah, if you are... I'll shill for the fucking store. I don't give a shit. If you are looking for good case... do we have any in stock before I shill?
I have no idea. Shill anyway. Who cares?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Bitboxes, really, really solid. Clamshell design. Full artwork. Updated artwork. Fucking great. Especially the Mega Man series because it forms a whole picture on the side. It's awesome. And they sent these to me for free. So I didn't even pay for them. You guys are fucking great. This is before you paid me.
Well,
now
speaking of
now I don't get free
variants,
shit. I just get money.
There you go. That you can buy free shit with.
Yes.
Wait, that's how that works. All right. Speaking of fun box variants, my final game. $20 loose, $70 complete in box. Super Mario Brothers 3. And yeah, that's right. I got the left bros. Boom. And it's not just this. I have the full complete in box left bros going on here. I got
really?
Yeah, that's right. I got my manual and cart all left bros.
Wow.
Bitches. Yeah. I'm special.
I don't know if I have Super Mario Brothers 3. I'll have to go.
So,
talk.
Look, when you're talking about essential NES games and you don't have a Mario game on your list, I think you're crazy. Because when it comes to the NES, platformers were its bread and butter, and the Mario games are ubiquitous. And I love the first one, I love the second one, but Super Mario Brothers 3 is a masterpiece. It is a just daggum masterpiece. No two ways about it. It is just the way it is. This game's got a ton of variety. It's got a ton of stages. It's almost infinitely replayable. It's got great multiplayer. It's got great box art. Awesome music, fantastic visuals. It ticks every box. It is the quintessential NES game. As far as I'm concerned, there is no NES game that is more quintessential NES than this. And no, even the Super Mario All-Stars version of Mario 3, I don't think does Mario 3 justice. This game is the NES. Like it looks and sounds exactly the way it needed to in every respect. This is nice box. What do you have going on? Is that your NES games?
Yeah. This is how
I
this
can't
is
say
how
enough good things
small
about
of an
this.
NES collection I have.
I think it's a perfectly good size.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Super Mario Bros. 3. It is a legitimate gosh dang masterpiece, and I think it is a just absolute essential for the NES. Boom, there it is. If you write
I've got to write bros.
Yeah, you do.
Got to write bros. Got excited. I didn't even know that was a fucking thing I could potentially get excited about.
It is. There was a really brief period of time where Left Brothers games were worth like a bunch of money, and now they're worth almost exactly the same as the regular card. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then why the fuck did I go get this box?
I don't know. I don't know why you do what you do.
That's fair.
Oh, no. iPhone storage full. Oh, boy. Pause this real quick and figure that out.
I've got 2 games left because Legend of Zelda was on both of ours. My penultimate game, though, and I do kind of feel strongly that it has to be this version of it, but that would be Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!
Yep.
I believe this to be one of the finest puzzle games ever created. I believe this to be one of the finest sports games ever created. I love the character design. I love the fucking inclusion of Mike Tyson. It's fucking wild. I love Lil Mac. I love absolutely everything about this game. I don't care that it's the same fucking song over and over again. It's such a good song that this may be the song, Kris, that I've heard more in my life than any other song. It might be this. This game is a fucking masterpiece. I do think, though, that, do I have the other, I have another copy, the non-Mike Tyson's Punch-Out somewhere.
Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream.
I think it loses a little bit without Tyson. I think
agree. Mr. Dream is a pretty dumb character.
He's fine. He's fine. But, like, at that time, Mr. Dream, at that time, Mike Tyson was a fucking god.
There, I clapped again so that Evan can resync this video if possible.
Okay.
I think I should just go black when my phone went out, but yeah.
Okay.
So I delete all the podcast episodes after we're done, but they've been sitting in the to be deleted folder. Okay. There's like 60 gigs I just deleted off my phone.
That's funny. But like, Mr. Dream is great. Mike Tyson just had this aura, as the kids say, about him. He was a fucking god at that point. Like, there had just never been anything like him, and his inclusion in this game, he was the fucking final boss, right?
Yeah,
like,
and he was unbelievably harder than everybody else in the game. Like, he was head and shoulders above. That was the dream fight, and it was something else.
It was
man.
incredible.
Yeah.
And that sense of accomplishment of beating Tyson, which I only did for the first time during COVID. I could never fucking do it as a kid. I save stated to fucking beat Tyson. But that sense of accomplishment, even all these years later, still rang true, right? Tyson was the final boss. He was scarier than Mother Brain. He was scarier than Bowser. He was scarier than fucking pick a boss in a video game. Tyson was fucking more intimidating. He was scarier. Just an absolutely fucking brilliant game. I love Punch-Out so much. God, I love that game. And then
could not possibly agree more. I've got mine right here. This was just barely didn't make the cut. It was honestly between this and The Legend of Zelda. I was really going back and forth. Because I agree with you. This is one of my favorite games of all time. It is an absolute masterpiece. It is a technical feat, especially considering when it came out, the giant sprites, the way they used the background tiles to make these gigantic boxers. All the characters are super wacky. The science behind this game of trying to learn how to beat all these fighters is incredible. This game was so close to making my list, and it broke my heart not to have it on there, but I still stand behind my choices. Like, is it a better game than Blades of Steel? No. But if I took out Blades of Steel, then suddenly my list doesn't have any multiplayer, any like real two-player simultaneous play. So that's why you got to look at my list as a whole. But Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, just such a great pick.
And then my final game, obviously,
roller games.
Is roller games. 100%.
10 out of 10.
That's just something. It's just something that I have a fucking card for. I don't have a cart for Super Mario Brothers 2.
Really?
I don't. I don't know why I don't. I thought
either.
I did. I have so in this box of bullshit that I have down here, it's mostly a bunch of bullshit. I've got the Mega Man Run, Metal Gear, and Snake's Revenge are up there. Those are the only thing I have bit boxes for. I gave Legend of Zelda or Zelda 2 and Trojan I gave to my cousin when he was here visiting. I don't have Super Mario Brothers 2. I agree with everything you said about Super Mario Brothers 3. I would argue Super Mario Brothers 3 is the best version of Super Mario Brothers. I am including Super Mario World in that conversation. I know you, I think I know. I think you disagree that World is better than 3.
Agree. World is better than 3 in my humble... World's the best Mario has ever been, as far as I'm concerned.
But I don't think it's maybe too bold of a statement to say that Super Mario Brothers 3 is better than Wonder. I don't remember where we ranked them in our episode when we did that. But I'm pretty sure it was above, like, Wonder and all that other shit. I think Super Mario Brothers 3 is just that damn good.
It's the bee's
However,
knees.
The reason that I go with Super Mario Brothers 2 is because I think it is almost as good as Super Mario Brothers 3, while also being wildly different than the rest of the Super Mario Brothers stuff. I find Super Mario Brothers 2 to be so delightfully left of center. I love the switching of characters. And I almost went with 3 because you can switch characters in Little Samson. But it's a little bit different because you can switch characters on the fly in Little Samson. And in Super Mario Brothers 2, you have to pick them at the start. I love the stage. I love the world. I like that it's different from, it's not Bowser, right? Like, it's so different. It's just so fucking weird. It's so weird, right? And we know, like, I'm not a big Mario guy, and that my favorite Mario games are Super Mario Brothers 2 and like Super Mario Land. Like, that's where I'm at. I just think this game is so brilliant in everything it does. I think the music is probably my favorite music in a Mario game. And the fact that it's just a little bit different, it gives you a little bit more and shows that Mario formula can work not just with Mario, right? And they would eventually go on to do that with Yoshi and later Mario games. They would kind of iterate on that formula. But right away, this reskin of fucking whatever, Doki Doki Panic. I almost said Doki Doki Literature Club, and that is not what this is a reskin of. Although that might be fun too. I think Super Mario Brothers 2 is absolutely fucking outstanding. It is my favorite. It is the last game on my list, and you can pick up a copy of Super Mario Brothers 2 loose for shit $20 loose and only $65 in box. That's not bad. That's not bad. I think I forgot to mention Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Punch Out you can get loose for $40 loose and $182 complete in box. But yeah, that's my list. That's my list.
I am trying to find did we count down all the Mario games? Did we do that?
We did. I'm pretty sure we did.
I can't remember if we did or if we talked about it and then didn't because you don't like any of them. But I think you're right. I think we did. No,
I mean, I'm pretty sure we did do it. This, just as an aside, while you're looking for that, Burnish Beer Company Peach Sox American Wheat Ale with natural peach flavors. I don't know that I'm going to get through this entire can, and it's only a 12-ounce, Chris. It's not great, and I've had other beers from them. This is disappointing.
Did we do it after Wonder came out?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I don't think we've done it. It wasn't that recent. But yeah,
while you were looking for that, I will recap my list. My list comes in with The Legend of Zelda, Little Samson, Mega Man 2, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and Super Mario Brothers 2 for a grand total loose of $2,483.
Wowzers.
That's a lot of money. I'm going to pick up my copy of Mike Tyson's Punch-Out that I've now thrown on the floor, which is disrespectful.
My list was Blades of Steel, Blaster Master, Mega Man 3, The Legend of Zelda, and Super Mario Brothers 3, and I'm not adding that up, but it was a bunch of money. To talk about the other ones that didn't quite make the cut. When thinking about multiplayer, I almost went with Dr. Mario, because there should be a puzzle game. I wasn't going to pick Tetris, because the NES Tetris isn't my favorite version of Tetris. Dr. Mario, though, is a great game, has great multiplayer, great music, but didn't quite make the cut. When talking about games that showcase what the NES can do visually, I almost went with Kirby's Adventure. But again, Super Mario Bros. 3, I think, is a better platformer than Kirby's Adventure. So even though this does a great job of showcasing the technical aspects of the NES, didn't quite beat Super Mario Bros. 3. Similar to speaking, Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse, we already talked about this a little bit. This is another excellent showcase of technical mastery on the system, especially showcasing what Konami can do, but didn't quite beat the Blaster Master Mega Man of it all. And again, just like you said before, Ninja Gaiden 2 is another one. This game is so good with the fluid action, but it's complete bullshit in the back half. So
it really is.
It's kind of hard to argue that Ninja Gaiden games don't just kind of fall apart as far as like difficulty and content of just being absolute bullshit machines. So yeah, phenomenal game. Just didn't quite make the cut.
I was kind of waffling back and forth between Ninja Gaiden and 2. Ultimately, if one was going to make the list, I think it would be 2. But yeah, the game is absolute
2 just
bullshit.
refines 1 a little bit more. But yeah, they both suffer from that bullshit problem. But they also had those cutscenes that were revolutionary for the time. It's
incredible, absolutely incredible.
It's an incredible library, top to bottom.
It really is. One of legit my favorite games on the system, and the one that came before it, almost made the list. Batman: Return of the Joker, or Batman the video game. Absolutely brilliant. I just don't have a copy of Batman. I do have Batman Returns. But that's a Konami game. That's a different thing. This I picked up from my my local video store. I believe this was my video store. Yeah, in Williamstown, New Jersey. He used to put stickers on the side, and sometimes he would sell his games. But I fucking love this game. I really, really thought about putting Power Blade on my list. I fucking love Power Blade. I think this is a great game. Shout out to Video Conspiracy, that is no longer there, for selling me this game for like $3 when I was a little kid. And then, obviously, right, we talked about it earlier, Dracula's Curse, considered Dracula's Curse, considered Castlevania 2 as well, Simon's Quest, because I like that game. Really probably would have gone with Castlevania, but again, I also don't have a loose copy of Castlevania, which I find to be complete bullshit. Really strongly thought about Rygar. I really, really like this game.
It's fantastic.
It's a really good game. And it's what I think is so cool about Rygar is it really shows, like, if we're talking about, if we were making a list based on, like, historical importance, right? I would argue Rygar belongs on that list because it shows what could be done with an arcade port, right? This is not the arcade game. This is a very, very different animal. And the expansion of Rygar into this home version, absolutely brilliant. And then the last two, thought about it for a minute just because it would have made you happy, but like, I love Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus is outstanding.
It is outstanding. And again, if you want to talk historical significance, Kid Icarus is huge, but is it a true standout of like, no, this is a must play? I don't think so.
No. This also almost really made the list. Final Fantasy. It is probably the worst Final Fantasy that they have made. But at the time, it was a fucking revelation. It was an absolute revelation. It is largely responsible, along with Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior, whatever the fuck you want to call it, largely responsible for the RPGs that we play today. A lot of it comes from that game right there. Its importance cannot be understated. Simply brilliant. But as I looked at my list and I got down to it, I really, like, I'm not going to lie. This list took me about 20 minutes to put together. Like, because I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, I'll put, Mega Man and Little Samson and Punch Out. And I was like, all right, well, yeah, nothing's going to fucking get past those. So, all right, let me see what else we got. Legend of Zelda. All right, that's obvious. And then, I got to put a Mario game on there somewhere. All right, Super Mario Brothers 2. all right, cool, I'm done, I guess. Let me look at these other games. But no, it's my list and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it's a solid list. But let's see let's see what everyone else had to say. Well, thank you. Because we have a lot of feedback on here.
Blades of Steel is a wild-ass choice. That's fine.
I stand by it. I feel good about it. So
do
let's see.
you
I'll
want to
start
read
with
the Twitter stuff
I'm
since I don't have access to that?
The social media stuff out the way. Over on Facebook, we had a couple of responses. We had Ken Thurston, who said, let me make sure this is all of it, not just the newest ones. Yeah, all right. So Ken Thurston said, if I had to pick 5 from the picture of the original 30. So when I posted on Facebook, I posted one of the old posters that had Rob on it. So it looks like he just went with that one. So if I had to pick 5 from the picture of the original 30 black box games, they would be Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong, Popeye, Hogan's Alley, and Kung Fu. All right, that's a solid lineup there, Ken. Jamie Martin said, The Legend of Zelda, no notes. Super Mario Brothers 3, I would pick this over the first one simply for the additional play elements, costume abilities. Duck Hunt, easy pick to show off the zapper. Kirby's Adventure to show off the power of the system. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 just because it's one of my all-time favorite games and one of my favorite Christmas memories. Well said, Jamie Martin. I like that. Moving over to the Twitters, because I will not call it X, we have Jason Swoboda put off this poster, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Excellent picks. ND said Super Mario Brothers 3, Mega Man 2, Castlevania 3, The Legend of Zelda, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Excellent picks. Seardan 1987 said Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, Adventure of Link, and Punch-Out and Donkey Kong. Nice to see Zelda 2 making somebody's list. That was one that I definitely thought about, but couldn't quite knock out other things on those various lists. I think that's it for Twitter. And then we have Blue Sky. Duroc Pig said, I stand by my choices of Mario 2, Mega Man 2. I think Duroc Pig may have actually answered this elsewhere. Zelda 2, Punch-Out, and Tecmo Super Bowl. There is part of me that wants to change out Tecmo Super Bowl for Contra, Baseball Stars, or Jackal, but will stick with my original picks. Meanwhile, we have a really thought-out one on Blue Sky from Aardvark Soup. So, it was a lot of fun to come up with this list. Probably should have taken the Blue Sky character limit in mind when starting this in my notes app. Sorry for the verbosity. My picks are as follows. Oh, he picked 14 games. All right.
Holy shit.
I said pick 5. He went 14. Bless your heart. I'm reading them. Let's do it. The Legend of Zelda. When I first discovered emulation in the late 90s, I quickly used that opportunity to take a look at what predecessor to my favorite N64 game was like, and then realized this was the same game as the one that was on the intriguing gold cartridge some kids showed off at Computer Club many years before. It's not 14 games, it's 14, whatever you call them, blue skies. Off the Computer Club many years before.
What do they call it on Blue Sky? It's not tweets.
It's bloops. I don't know.
Is it?
It shouldn't be.
Idea. Okay.
I got really into it back then, and I still go back to it from time to time. That's actually very impressive, considering Miyamoto's team clearly took a lot of inspiration from microcomputer action-ish RPGs at the time, while developing their first flagship disc game. Those games tended to be pretty obtuse, frustrating, and hard to get into, in my opinion. Though well-thought-out game design, I feel Zelda finally made the genre accessible and delightful to play. It's no surprise this game was so influential and started a beloved franchise. Mega Man 2, another obvious pick. Don't really have much to add to what anyone else will tell you when they belong to the 51% of Mega Man fans who think this is the best one. Game good. Punch-Out, my personal favorite NES game. Excellent pick. The one I keep coming back to the most. Its straightforward pattern recognition, punch, and dodge mechanics turn this into a very pure action game that's easy to learn and hard to master. I don't care much for Arcade Punch-Out or Super Punch-Out. This honestly doesn't need to be a franchise. The NES game already perfected the formula. Wii Remake was neat, though. Now, I know the Mike Tyson version is definitely more iconic, but I'm going for this version because it's the one I played, doesn't have the unfortunate baggage associated with the heavyweight champion, and because most players probably won't be able to make it to the final fight to notice the difference. Furthest I got was a 3-pixel-wide health bar away from TKOing Super Macho Man. Still a bit bummed I screwed up that run. Ooh, this is a pick right here. Solomon's Key 2, aka Fire and Ice. I felt like I should include at least one niche entry that most probably won't be familiar with. I discovered this game when browsing NSO a few years ago, and it quickly turned into one of my all-time favorite puzzlers. The game's central puzzle mechanics are original, also compared to modern standards. It is interesting and incredibly versatile. It has a difficulty curve that's consistently in the sweet spot in between being easy or too challenging. It keeps making me feel smart for figuring out puzzles without ever being frustrating. Huge recommendation for any puzzle fans. Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt. This 2-in-1 pack is probably, in my country at least, the most common NES cartridge out there. It's also pretty much the first pair of video games I ever saw or played. As a 3-year-old, considering how big of a hobby gaming had become for me, they must have been done something right. Super Mario Bros. Is obviously iconic and revolutionary. Duck Hunt may not be of that caliber, but for many people, it's still a quintessential light gun game. A bar in my city has a CRT with the game set up for years, and it's still played all the time, although that awesome. May also have something to do with the free beer they hand out to anyone who beats a certain score. Duck Hunt is a great representative of Nintendo's early arcade-style Famicom games, whereas Mario sets the stage for the more elaborate games of the console's second era. That was a great list. Fire and Ice on there is a great... That's a wild pick, and I appreciate that. I was a big fan of the first Solomon's Key, and I like Fire and Ice. I did find it to get frustrating several levels in, like not enough to make me really, really want to keep playing it, but... I appreciate what you're talking about there. That was a very cool list, Aardvark Soup. Thank you very much for handing that in. All right, Dan, why don't you take a few?
All right, I am going to start with an email that we received from Alex. Or no, sorry, Zero G. We got more.
Yeah, Zero G is the first one. We got two emails.
I didn't see that you put another email in there. I was still going with the old email. All right. First email from Zero G. Here are good titles that I think stand out from the rest on the NES. North and South, a really cool blend of strategy and mini games, great to play against friends or on the computer. You can even perform a train robbery. Indeed you can. And if you would like to learn more about North and South, please read my blog from 2 weeks ago. Really good pick. Bucky O'Hare, a cartoon comic book that came to life as a video game. It's character swapping, and each character has their own unique ability. Excellent music, big bosses, and a good challenge. Bucky O'Hare is a really solid game.
Righteous
Rockin'
Indignation.
Cats. What's that?
Righteous Indignation.
Yes. Rockin' Cats. One of the lesser-known titles out there. Funky music with a great punching and swinging mechanic. The ability to buy power-ups at a shop and have a stage select lets you explore the game at your leisure and figure out the best path for you. Maybe not the best-looking NES game, but still very colorful. This game I fucking love. Metal Storm, interesting gravity mechanic mixed with cool mech, has you flipping to avoid enemies and traps. There's a boss rush at the end of the game, and beating it unlocks expert mode for additional challenge. And then Mr.
Fantastic
Gimmick, incredible graphics and music with a really cool bouncing physics, lots of hidden areas, and a really good challenge. Thanks, Zero G. Excellent picks. And yeah, I think like taking it as the idea of like standing out from the rest of the NES. Love that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Our next email comes to us from Alex, and it says, I listened to the Atari Standouts and wanted to submit one for the NES. Mega Man 6, there we go. Somebody picked 6. Capcom finally mastered the Mega Man formula. Best visuals in the series, and the Rush adapters were well thought out. Secret bosses and not forcing the player to a strict linear path make this game more interesting than its predecessors. Good soundtrack, especially Tomahawk Man and Flame Man. Yes, Flame Man. Love that song.
Flame Man's
Kirby's
good.
Adventure. Play Dreamland and Adventure back-to-back to see just how much the series evolved in less than a year. It is incredible how much the game changed with the addition of a single ability. He's talking about the copy ability that's become Kirby's like mainstay. Didn't exist in the first game.
Yeah.
Showed up in Adventure for the first time. And also, not for nothing, that final boss battle is one of the most impressive looking things you'll ever see on an NES.
Yeah.
Little Samson. What a great way to implement character switching and utilize the associated abilities. Controls incredibly tight, and the level design is smart. The visuals are very polished as well. Shame that Takaru didn't make any other NES games, but this is a real gem. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Konami really pulled everything they could out of the NES here. I really like the score system and throwing mechanic. It allows players to vary up the gameplay and challenge themselves. Having the ability to switch turtles after dying gives more space to explore where each does well, since their special moves work better in particular areas of the game. And Dragon Warrior 4, outstanding music, an innovative party system, and actually unique towns and regions. This is an impressive display of storytelling and world building, and it's easy to see why many consider it the best RPG on the system. Thanks, Alex. You're welcome, Alex, and thank you for that fantastic list. Manhattan Project is another one that I considered. I don't like that game as much as most people do, and I think that's a me thing, because it's clearly very well done, and it's another great example of Konami being Konami, and you really get that sound and the look that they were just so well known for. And Dragon Warrior 4, I thought about that one, except that I've put almost no time into it myself, so I didn't feel that I could speak with any level of authority on it. But Dragon Warrior 4 is a great pick as well.
All right, next up, we've got Unas11 from our Discord. Alex0G, please feel free to join the Discord. It's a lot of fun, and everybody is very nice, except for that one guy, and yes, I am talking about you. For NES, going to make 2 lists, one for the best of the best, and then my best. So, best of the best, I am assuming, Super Mario, take your pick of which one. Yep, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Final Fantasy, Rad Racer, which I think is a bold choice. I'm not going to say you're wrong. I love Rad Racer. Unas11 also says, could be Tecmo Bowl, but I dislike football games, but wanted a sports game on the list. So Rad Racer it is. Fucking Tecmo Bowl's a great pick, too. It really is. I think one of the things that's really fun about this segment, as we've been going through here, one, I've been very pleasantly surprised that it hasn't just been Metroid, Zelda, Super Mario Brothers. There's variety in these lists, which I think is really cool. But it also really shows just how fucking good that library is. It is, man, just fucking heavy hitters. All right, now for Unas11's their personal picks. DuckTales. I've played the crap out of this game as a kid and adult. Tubin, it is a shmup in a different skin, but once again, played this as a kid. Tubin's really cool. Dragon Quest 3, really cool. This is something I didn't play as a kid, but as an adult. It suffers from the issues of the day. Menus could be simpler. The game and story is great. Super Mario Brothers 2, my personal favorite NES Mario game, because you have taste. And Jaws. I played the shit out of this as a kid. I don't know that anybody else is going to put Jaws on their essential list, but I fucking respect the chutzpah it takes to do it. That game is not as bad as it is made out to be. It's a fucking dope-ass game.
I just recorded earlier today my list of, I was going, the videos I've been doing about the games that defined the NES generation for me, and I talked about Jaws for like 10 minutes.
It's a great game.
I love that game.
It's a great game. It's not a good Jaws game, but like...
Yeah, it is a very cool game, and if you haven't played the Retro Edition, Jaws Retro Edition,
so good.
Do so. It's phenomenal.
So good.
Duroc Pig said, the essential to Duroc list of NES standouts is as follows. So this is where that list actually came from. Probably should have read this before reading the Blue Sky. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! It's a fighting game and a puzzle game all rolled into one of my favorite NES games. Mega Man 2, another favorite. In the debate between Mega Man 2 and 3, 2 edges out 3 because I always stop playing Mega Man 3 when the extra Doc robots come out after defeating the initial Robot Masters. I just feel like Mega Man 2 is just the right amount of Mega Man, and it was my first experience with the franchise. Zelda 2, I know everyone is going to say the first one is better and more essential, but for me, 2 is the one I always go back to. It was my first experience with Zelda and still the one I'm most fond of. I adore Zelda 2. And
I do too.
I will never fault you for putting that on the list. Mario
I don't
2.
even know that you can legitimately compare the two, though. They're so different.
Yeah. And honestly, I didn't put Zelda 1 instead of Zelda 2. I put Blaster Master instead of Zelda 2.
Right.
That was what that boiled down to.
Like, The Legend of Zelda and Legacy of the Wizard is like a more fair comparison. I don't even know that. Or like Crystallis. Zelda 2 is just so different.
It's a very, very different animal. All right, Mario 2. Again, everyone is going to say 3 is better, and they aren't wrong, but I always go back to 2 because of the unique gameplay, cool characters, and great soundtrack. Love it. Tecmo Super Bowl. It was between this and Contra, and even though I love Contra, it's not my go-to version in the franchise. Tecmo Super Bowl is still one of the most fun sports games on the platform, and the Raiders are awesome with Bo Jackson. Great list.
Bo knows football. Yeah, that's a great list. And
this just keeps going, doesn't it? I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all of these.
Oh, yeah, we got plenty of time. We're good.
It's 9 o'clock. We're still in the first segment. Keep going.
Shut the fuck up. Don't puss out. Wait, it was a short show last week. We got to give them extra this week, Chris. Take your pants off. Fruit bat salad. My NES standouts in no particular order. Super Mario Brothers Mario games are essential, so this spot has to go to Super Mario Brothers 1 or 3. For me, it's 1. I considered the 1 Duck Hunt Cabo cart. That doesn't count as one game. The Legend of Zelda. I prefer Zelda 2, but I'm picking Zelda 1 because it was a more iconic game and an essential NES experience. To put it simply, I can't imagine the NES without this. 3, Kid Icarus, because it's my favorite game. It's a big part of what defined the NES for me personally, and it's the game I've replayed the most. This might not make the list for other people, but this is my list, and everyone else is wrong.
I love
Castlevania 2. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Konami games were top tier and deserve a spot on the list. When I think of Konami, I think of Castlevania. CV2 is my personal favorite, but you can't go wrong with any game in the trilogy. I agree. Castlevania 2 is fucking dope. RBI Baseball. This isn't a favorite for me, but I really wanted to include a representative multiplayer game. Playing with friends or siblings was a big part of the NES generation, and sports games were a perfect way to do that. When I was a kid, it was bases loaded with my older brother, but I'm picking RBI Baseball because it's a better game. This spot could also go to Tecmo Super Bowl or another sports game. Rumblemans.
Like Blades of Steel.
Runners Up. I was reading the next line. My brain's going too fast for my mouth. Runners Up. Metroid, Mega Man 2, Ninja Gaiden, Xanadu, Kung Fu, Dragon Quest, and Tetris.
Excellent picks. Love the Kid Icarus representation. And RBI Baseball. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
I've always been a Tecmo Baseball guy myself, but yes, love it. Rumblemans. I don't need to justify my picks to you, but I guess I will. Mega Man 2, because it's the best entry in a lineup of banger Mega Man games in the NES. Hard to disagree. Blaster Master, because it's the best Metroidvania on the NES, and we need Sunsoft on this list. Agree. Kid Icarus, because Fruit Bat Salad is right. Super Mario Brothers 2. I don't know, I'm an oddball, but I've always thought Super Mario Brothers 2 was a more interesting game than first or third ones. Castlevania 2, Konami representation, and my favorite, and it's my list. Well done. Honorable mentions. Turtles 2 the arcade game. I wanted a 2-player game, but then I realized that Kid Icarus is a 2-player alternating game according to Nintendo, so that's sorted. Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest. I didn't get any RPGs on there, but honestly, Sega did it better at this point. Zelda. Both Zeldas probably make the top 10, but not the top 5. Tetris. Interesting because it is so prominently played in competitions until this day, but Tetris is kind of everywhere. And if I put on a list, it'll probably be Game Boy. Yeah. Art. Good call.
It will unquestionably be Game Boy.
Yeah. If it's not on a Game Boy list, you crazy.
I just don't know that we can take your list seriously. Which I know I say that shit and you fucking assholes are going to take that as a challenge, which is what I love about you, but you're fucking wrong. Chronodin. Okay. The Essential to Chronodin list. I know you two will have some of the best on the system on your list, and I foresee only maybe one of mine being on your list, and I know whose list it will be. So this is focused on the games that are standouts in my personal gaming experiences. Onwards. Man, I love this fucking first pick. Star Tropics. I have such a soft spot for this game. Me too. I won't argue that it's one of the best on the system, but there's just something about it that I love. I have to cheat to high heaven to get through the last few levels because that difficulty ramps up fast, but it has just such damn charm and character. It's quirky and weird, and it knows it. Fucking hard agree. It's a great game. Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Of all the Double Dragon games, this one is by far my favorite. I've gone back to this more than any other. I like other Double Dragon games. I love this one. Lots of memories of playing this all the way through as a kid. Today I have to cheat, just like in Star Tropics near the end. That doesn't bother me one bit because it's still a blast to play. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Look, the original Legend of Zelda is amazing and one of the most groundbreaking and influential games of all time, no question. I am baffled that Nintendo has all but completely disowned this game. It has a lot of flaws, no question, but it's such an interesting game. The combat feels so good when you really get into it, and it's just unlike any other Zelda game. If you haven't picked up on a trend yet, yes, I have to cheat on this one too, particularly later because this game is also pretty tough like a lot of older NES games, and I don't have the time or patience to keep those skills fresh. That doesn't bother me one bit. I like being able to play it with little stress or fear of having to go all the way back to the North Castle every time I lose all my lives, though that snide chuckle from Ganon's silhouette when you get a game over screen has permanent residence in my memory. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. The original Castlevania is also phenomenal. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest is ambitious, I'll give it that, but Castlevania 3 is the one I remember renting on Friday nights and eating pizza while trying to climb that clock tower. The music, fuck that clock tower, the music, the different characters, the stages, this is the Castlevania game that I have the most nostalgia for as a kid, without doubt. Mega Man 2, I almost went with Super Mario Brothers 2 as my last. I'm feeling so fucking validated by the Mario Brothers 2 love as my last game, but when it comes to games I'm more likely to revisit and play through, I spend a lot more time with this one than I do Mario 2. If anybody has listened to this podcast in the last 10 years, then I probably don't need to say anything about why this game is great, and in all likelihood, I'm guessing Dan already has on this very episode. Yes. Kris, I'll give you this. I think Mega Man 3 is probably the better game, but 2 is the one I fell in love with. The soundtrack to this one is also probably my favorite of all the Mega Man games. In fact, some years back, I wrote a piece of music for Concert Band that won the state composition contest, and I based the melody loosely based, yet legally distinct. Very important definition there. On the middle part of the famous theme from Dr. Wily's Castle Stage 1, so yeah, this game's got a lot of meaning for me. Honorable mention to Dragon Warrior for being my first RPG. I don't revisit it hardly ever, and I didn't play the original Final Fantasy until much later. FF2 or 4 in Japan was where I really fell in love with RPGs, because both of those games are clunky as hell, but they deserve at least a bit of recognition. Proving once again why you are a sexy, sexy man, Cronodin. Excellent list.
Well done. Let's see, I got Trash Man next. I've tailored my list to the 5 titles I go back to the most. Oh, this is funny. This was actually the one that Ellie kept voting for this morning when I was pulling the boxes off my wall. Bubble Bobble. It's clever, easy to pick up and learn. Got a great challenge curve, and there are so many items and secrets to discover. Anyone who plays it has the music seared into their brain for all time. It was where I learned there could be multiple endings to a video game. Yes, Bubble Bobble is a marvelous pick. Dr. Mario almost made my list. Crazy addictive, really fun to play against others. The secret of the viruses is hilarious. Yes, they're aliens. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Better than the source material. Haven't beaten it. Still keep going back. Yes, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is better than both the arcade games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game. My favorite co-op on the system. While not as refined as Manhattan Project Brother, I prefer it for 3 reasons. 1, it's an outstanding arcade port given the limitations of the NES with extra levels and bosses. 2, not being punished for special attacks makes it more accessible to new players. 3, free Pizza Hut when Pizza Hut was good. Hell yeah. Legend of Zelda. Anyone who prefers Zelda 2 or says the sequel is better is a psychopath and should not be trusted. Okay.
P2Mick28 says, honorable mention, Maniac Mansion. I spent so very, very long trying to throw Chuck the Plant to no avail. The music, atmosphere, humor, and all the things to do amazed me. I eventually acquired a tip book, learned a few ways to beat the game. I fucking love Maniac Mansion. They'll come up again in week-old news. Number 5, Blaster Master. This game fascinated me as a kid. It was so big, that's what she said. There was so much to explore, also what she said. But I never owned this one. I had borrowed it from a neighbor kid. Fun thing about this one is I discovered this game the same year or so I first played Final Fantasy VI. Even while playing the Super Nintendo and a couple long box PS1 games to boot, I still loved and wanted my own Blaster Master. Fun fact, I bought a complete copy of Blaster Master despite very intentional avoiding boxed NES games because of cost. Once I had it in hand, I stared at it knowing I was now in trouble. I now collect complete and box NES games. Number 4, fucking wild ass pick here, but I love it. Jackal. I had never had a lot of the typical heavy hitters when growing up. No Contra, no Castlevania, no Metroid, but I had Jackal. I love Jackal. It was easy to just get into it and start blowing up tanks and saving POWs. It's not a hard game either, so I could sometimes beat it. It's got 2-player co-op, so I could sometimes get my sister to play. And the music, I find myself playing the music to the first two stages in my head or humming them pretty regularly. This game was, basically my version of Contra. Number 3, Mega Man 4. My pick for a Mega Man game is non-conventional, and the reason for it seems contrary to general opinion. I loved the charge shot. I don't play Mega Man games correctly for certain definitions of correct. I simply don't use the boss weapons. I'd always found it too much of a hassle swapping weapons, maintaining their energy, etc. Oh, sure, I'd get to a boss, cycle through every weapon until I found one that chunked him, but that was about it. Hell, I'd often end up dying and not having the weapon energy anymore anyway, have to use the standard buster regardless, and or die trying. And so, I never knew Metal Blade was overpowered. All I knew was I liked charging my buster, and by extension, charging the Pharaoh shot, because it didn't need energy to hold above your head. I could walk around with a big safety ball of energy floating above me. Was this good? Probably not, but it is what I did. Also, there's the distinct possibility I received these games backwards, shaping my opinion of them, starting with 4, then 3, then 2, then years later I finally got 1. Having recently played 5 and 6, I suspect 6 would have been my favorite Mega Man game with the infinitely usable special armors. Number 2, Dr. Mario. My top 2 games are here in part because of my mom. These are the ones we played together a ton. We played Tetris a ton too, but Dr. Mario had the character and charm that made it the one my mom and I gravitated towards. Her go-to game mode was maximum level for tons of viruses with the slowest speed to give us time to clear them, just trying to outdo each other in how far we could get, and the music is chef's kiss. Number 1, Super Mario Bros. 3, easily the game I put the most time into growing up. I just love the variety, all the power-ups, all the enemies, the panic of running around trying to not get eaten by a big fish or murdered by an angry son, the absolute glee I had running around with a giant Koopa shell in Giant Land, the Tanuki suit, fuck, Giant Land's really cool. The Tanuki suit, the Hammer Brothers suit. My mom played along with me on occasion. I don't have much to say on this one. I don't feel I need to. It's top tier Mario. Excellent
Fantastic list. What a great list. With the Dr. Mario, my only trouble with going full levels on Dr. Mario is when you're playing versus. If one person gets a chain reaction in the beginning, you're basically screwed. Like, it's just too close to the top. But gotta love Dr. Mario. All right, Ferg. Ferg's list, my personal list. We got an Atari 2600 in 1980, and I stopped playing it by mid-83. Later, my sister won an NES. I had no interest in it. She got it for Christmas 88, and I was hooked. The Legend of Zelda. My favorite Atari 2600 game was always Adventure. The map was wonky, not big, but I loved the feeling of getting lost in the game, and of course, finding the secret room. I went to my friend's house after we got the NES, and he was playing Legend of Zelda. I hadn't heard of it then. I watched him put a bomb against the wall and blow a hole in it, and then enter a secret room. Adventure came crashing back to me, and I knew I had to have this game. It is partly responsible for me dropping out of college. Why blame only myself? Super Mario Bros. 2. I, of course, loved the first and third games, but to this day, it is the only Mario game I have beaten, and I beat it before my sister, which was an accomplishment at the time. And Contra. This is from the era when I was collecting. I had, of course, heard of Contra, but never played it, and I was and am not great at run-and-gun games, but I had a ball with it anyway, and it definitely lived up to the hype. Tetris. My wife had an NES when we met, and she talked about Tetris a lot, but didn't have it. I think she played a version on the Apple IIe. I went to Captron in the mall and bought it for her, which was a big purchase at the time. We had a lot of fun playing it together, and I always enjoy it now when we play games, which sadly is not very often. Monopoly. Yes, Monopoly. When I was a kid in the 70s and 80s, we were constantly playing Monopoly, and I loved it. I don't know when the shift occurred, but no one but me, I guess, still likes it. I was in Toys R Us in my collecting days in the mid-90s and discovered a slew of copies of NES Monopoly for $5. I didn't know it existed and snapped one up. Why didn't I buy 12? It is still my favorite video game version of Monopoly, and I think my wife hates it more than Atari Superman. It was the best day when So Far's Domain finally posted the NSF file so I could listen to the soundtrack on Winamp.
Oh my God. All of those words just made me feel a lot of cricks in my back and my neck. Fuck, man.
Dishonorable mention. and I'm actually going to be talking about this on the next episode of my NES thing. Super Pitfall. I absolutely loved Activision's Pitfall in 2600. It gave me the same lost feeling that Adventure did. I discovered Pitfall 2 on a friend's computer in 84, and that was even cooler. Then I found out Activision had made Super Pitfall for NES, and I was stoked. It was going to be great. Then I found a copy at Funcoland. All I can say is, fuck you, Super Pitfall.
Which, like...
that game
Ferg doesn't curse
so
on
hard.
his show. He comes to hang out with us to get filthy.
Yeah. God, I hate
when
that
Ferg
game.
says fuck. Makes me happy. RC Mets rounding out our coverage of the NES Standouts. NES Standouts in no particular order. Super Mario Bros. 3. Yes, the original started it all. And 2 is a wild departure. Not a real Mario game as it's a reskin. 3 set the standards for future Mario games, introducing many costumes for Mario, such as Raccoon, Frog, etc., which have been used in all Mario games going forward. Legend of Zelda. This introduced a generation of gamers to a massive map to explore and free roam around. Yes, you had to do the dungeons in order, but you could go anywhere you wanted at any time. Also introduced the second quest, which I've never beaten, that had an extra challenge to it. Fuck, we didn't even mention that. That's a good point. I still go back to this game and I cannot remember where all the dungeons are without looking them up. Not sure how I did it without the internet when I was younger. Contra, I mean, it's Contra. It's the Konami code. Up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start, because we're generous. Yes, there were other games that use the code, but this is the game everyone knows that uses it. It's a very challenging game and one that many grew up playing with friends, and when one used all 30 lives and started taking the friends' lives from them, that made them mad. So, fuck, I remember that too. Still play the game to this day every so often and only have beat it a few times. Tecmo Super Bowl. God, I love this game. While Tecmo Bowl was a great game, Super Bowl made it even better, having 8 plays instead of 4, being able to change the plays. I played a whole season and brought the Browns to a Super Bowl, which is how you know it's a video game. Oh, no, sorry, which will probably never happen in my lifetime thanks to that dumpster fire of a franchise. It is so good that you can find it online and updated yearly still to this day to play. Finally, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yes, this game gets a lot of hate, but I got the game, played the shit out of it, and was never able to beat it. I got to the level where you were in the Technodrome and you were basically blind where you were going because the radar didn't work. It was and still is a fun game to play, but infuriatingly hard. Honorable mention, Baseball Simulator 2000. I absolutely love this game with crazy hits and fielding, and it would be up on my top 5 if it wasn't for the season where you have to wait forever for the computer to play its games. I'm not kidding. You play the game and then tell the computer to play games quick. You're still waiting 10 or so minutes for one of the games to end. One of my favorite sports games ever to play. It's just a shame they made the computer part go so slow. Silver Surfer. No, fuck that game. It's too damn hard. Amazing soundtrack, though. Yeah, true. Well, that's and that's it.
That's it. That's the ball game. Boy, speaking of ball games, glad I didn't tune into that one. Final score 2-10, and we didn't win.
Oh,
yeah,
it's not what you want.
Anyways, that's that was NES Standouts. So what's the next platform on our list? What is the next chronological platform?
Next up, what I have listed here, because I forgot to look at your list, what I have next is the Master System.
Does that seem you right? Are correct. Did I make a list somewhere?
You did. In the Discord, you made a list, and we were talking about maybe doing the 7800 and all that shit. But then we never talked about whether or not we were going to do that, so I haven't done it yet.
Let's see. I'm
scrolling back. So, next would be the 7800 if we want to do that, then Master System.
Let's do it. Let's do the 7800.
All right.
And we're going to skip the 5200, but we're going to do the 7800. That's what I say. It's my story. Okay. I'm sticking to it.
All right. Fuck.
So the next, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to check in with week old news. At 9:26 at night, you're listening to the Story Share podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
Hey,
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least two of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. All right, everybody, we are back. That was an extraordinarily long first segment, so we're going to get ourselves back to work here with my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News. Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. And, Dan, do you want to get us started on this extravaganza of this cavalcade of fuckery?
Yeah, boy, nothing happened this week, huh? I suppose, first off, we should probably just jump into the big biggie. I'm doing them out of order here, but that is Polygon reporting, as did literally fucking everybody else, that Xbox, this came out on Monday, Xbox will lay off 3,200 employees as its business today is not healthy, while in addition to those 3,200 losing 5 studios. So let's start with the good part of that. They are losing Compulsion, Double Fine, Arcane, who's going through, since they're a French-owned studio, they have to go through the French government. Like, there's legal things involved there. That studio will be leaving as well. We don't know the fate of Arcane. We know that Compulsion Games, famous for South of Midnight, Double Fine Games, famous for Psychonauts, and all of the Double Fine things that they have done. Those two studios are returning to independent status, and it seems as though Microsoft is allowing them to take their IP with them, which is, if that is in fact the case, really fucking awesome of Microsoft to do. Double Fine gets to take Psychonauts. Compulsion gets to take South of Midnight. That's really fucking cool.
I also heartily agree with the assessment that this was unsustainable and unhealthy to begin with.
Yeah, it just was. The other 2 studios that they are losing are Undead Labs, who became an Xbox-owned studio 8 years ago and have released no games during that time period. They released State of Decay 1 and 2, then Xbox bought them. They have not released State of Decay 3 yet. They are apparently still going to. They have been sold, and Ninja Theory, who is famous for the Senua games, Heavenly Sword, they also did the Devil May Cry remake, which, while a decent enough game, is just not a Devil May Cry game. It just didn't really feel right. They have also been sold. 16, so that's good news, right? The studios are not closing. They didn't just shutter them. They're being allowed to go do other things. Now, the bad part of it is that this past Monday, 1,600 employees were let go. An additional 1,600 are going to be let go over the course of this next year. Microsoft also let go a total, if you include the Xbox people, they let go a total of 4,800 people on Monday, which is just fucking crazy. PlayStation was really smart to announce the no physical thing last week. They got out ahead of it. And then, not that nobody has talked about it this week, because like PlayStation tweeted about the new Fight Stick coming out, and people were like, "Fuck you, physical games, you pricks." But Xbox has really dominated the headlines because this is a lot of people to be leaving. Also, within this, we have learned that catastrophic GameSpot reports catastrophic mismanagement and AI gambits led to the mass Xbox layoffs. Experts say Microsoft is a disgrace to the software industry. Among the studios that have been fucked by all of these people leaving, id has lost about half of its team. Obsidian has lost a ton of people. Like, all of these big Xbox studios are just losing people left and right. While at the same time, I thought this was interesting because I'm just going to throw all the Xbox stuff here together. In a day or two after announcing that they're cutting 3,200 jobs, Engadget reports that Xbox CEO Asha Sharma, and look, if we have to spell Xbox all capitals from now on, I think we have to spell Asha all capitals from now on as well. That just makes me happy because I'm mad at her. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma has been tapped to advise the Federal Reserve on, you guessed it, Kris, jobs. Awesome. What a fucking unserious nightmare we all live in. If we are living in a simulation, if this is indeed a simulation, as people claim, I can only hope that we are at the part of the simulation where the code is starting to fucking eat its own dick. Because otherwise, I would like to look up to the people controlling the avatars down here and say, what the fuck, guys? What are you doing? This is you can't write dumber shit like that into a movie because it's not fucking believable. The CEO lays off 3,200 people and then is tapped by the Federal Reserve to advise on jobs? What the absolute fuck are we doing? It's nonsense. Fable better be fucking good. That's all. Like, Gears of War, except whatever the fuck the next one is. Like, the Xbox, god damn it, they're in such a fucking state right now. It's unfucking believable. The last Xbox story, Polygon also reports, Xbox wanted 77 million Game Pass subscribers by 2026. Today, it has less than half of that. Microsoft's subscription service has fallen well short of Xbox of expectations. In addition to that, Asha, all capitals, also said that her goal... She said that she wants 1 billion with a fucking B players a day on Xbox. Now, they have King Games and they have Candy Crush and they have Minecraft and all this. Do you know how fucking much 1 billion is? 1 billion. What?
Every time I think that this lady lives in reality, like, because I can't not look at all of these layoffs and think about all of the, I mean, Microsoft went crazy with overhiring and buying every company and clearly created a bunch of redundancies. And the level of staffing that many of these things had, Microsoft as a whole had, wasn't sustainable, especially when you take in to account all the corporate bonuses and all that stuff that need to get paid.
Yeah.
But then there's nonsense like this. Like, that's not that's you're not a serious person. You don't make sense.
1 billion people is 12% of the population of the planet. 1 billion? What are you fucking talking about? 1 billion. Fuck you. Like, I mean, just what a dumbass fucking statement. I'm sorry. Like, we had our opinions, right? And who the fuck are we? We're two schmucks.
Exactly.
Right? Who the fuck are we?
There's so much I don't know about this situation. There's
so much I don't know about this situation.
Just some dude in New Jersey podcasting. So,
and I try to approach life as I've gotten older. I've tried to approach things from the lens of maybe, Kris, there's a chance. I have to operate with the chance that somebody knows more than me about this. And now here's the important part. Because they know more than me, they're able to explain it in a way that makes sense or makes it reasonable. That hasn't happened yet. I keep being disappointed. I've asked for people, as we've said before, and I'll fucking ask again, if you can legitimately defend scalping as a benefit to society, I would love to fucking hear it. But your arguments are left wanting every single time. I assumed that when she took over, maybe she knows more than me about this. But then you come in and say something just absolutely absurd, like you want 1 billion people to be playing Xbox. 1 billion fucking people. Like,
moving on.
You nailed it. Like that, you're not a serious person. And the fucked up part about that is that this is people's lives, man. Like, this is people. Not only is this people's lives and their jobs and all of that shit, but like, this is people's fucking dreams, man. And that fucking means something. You know, these are people who've spent their entire life working to get to this moment, and gigantic corporations have taken that and been like, well, I mean, it's not Grand Theft Auto 6 money, so eat a dick. Like, I just looked it up. On average, Candy Crush has about 180 million people who play it at least one day a month. Candy Crush. It's part of Microsoft. Even if we take that number as gospel, you still need a further 820 million players to hit your billion number. Oh.
And now for something completely different. Go Nintendo reports, Nintendo shares updated stats on their fight against conflict mineral sourcing. I didn't really know this was a thing, but so as of July 8th, as part of its annual report, Nintendo has shared the latest stats on their efforts to combat the sourcing of conflict minerals in creation of their hardware. Nintendo says that they made contact with all 311 of their smelters and refiners, and just one was found to be non-conformant. This standout smelter was in China, which Nintendo has said isn't a country of concern when it comes to conflict minerals. Cool. Yeah. I mean, sure. It's such a it was such a strange contrast to, like, Sony is eliminating physical products and get a whole conversation. Microsoft's hemorrhaging employees from all their indulging in multiple mass layoffs, and Nintendo's just like, yeah, metal stuff.
Yeah. Also, the Switch is made from babies. Like, whoa! Jesus Christ!
But we have no shortage of babies. Like we can just keep sourcing those. We're good. They have Nintendo's baby farms are going. They're going quite well.
Oh man, Toy Arc reports that McFarlane Figures has announced a Kratos in Ares armor figure, as well as 2 additional figures that are up for pre-order now. The deluxe edition Kratos is part of the Elite McFarlane editions. Those retail for anywhere between $50 to $60. It's a 7-inch scale figure. The Elite edition has 2 interchangeable heads, swap out hands. This one comes with the Blades of Chaos, a Leviathan axe, a shield, the Bifrost, Mimir's head, a display stand, and a card. Then there is a regular edition Einherjar, who's one of the villains in the God of War remake games, and then just a standard edition Kratos that comes with just the Leviathan axe and only 1 head. These are great looking figures. I went to pre-order it and it was $60 for the Elite edition. The issue I have here is that the Elite edition comes with like the armor on and all of that stuff. You can't take it off, right? And I like a shirtless Kratos. I'm going to be honest. I like a shirtless Kratos. The Elite edition is the only one that comes with the chain wrapped arms and the Blades of Chaos. And for a $60 figure, those Blades of Chaos do not have a chain coming off of them to attach around the arm. And for $60, I'm going to wait and see if I can find that in person. That was not a pre-order for me. I'll have to see how good it looks. If I can add a chain to it, I don't want to drop $60 on a figure I got to add shit to. You know what I mean? And I don't love that the $40 version, which is shirtless, and I think just look... I know I'm being silly about it, but I think it just looks more like Kratos, right? Like, I know you get armor throughout the game and whatever. I like that kind of portrait of Kratos. That one does not come with Blades of Chaos. It just comes with the Leviathan axe. It's a good-looking figure. I'll have to wait and see if I can find these in person. I've seen a bunch of the Helldivers figures that McFarlane has done. They're really nice. The Diablo ones he's done are really nice. The Fallout ones were really nice. So maybe I'll pick this up. But it is a very cool looking figure, and if you are a God of War person looking for some toys, you could do worse.
Next up, Time Extension reports new Activision-themed Super Pocket handheld announced. So these Super Pocket guys are basically portable Evercades. And let's see, the full list of games I'm not going to read because it's a whole buttload of games, but it's got Pitfall and Pitfall 2, which is awesome, and Mega Mania, one of my absolute favorites, Keystone Capers, Kaboom, Hero, lots of good stuff on here. These little Super Pocket things are pretty cool. We sell a decent amount of them on Stone Age Gamer, so I'm glad to see that there's an Activision one. I want to see these Activision games show up on more platforms too, so this is a kind of nice to see this here. Let's see what happens next. But yeah, that's the whole story. It's a good one.
Yeah. This one is kind of an interesting story. Gematsu reports a Switch Lite and Switch OLED model to be discontinued in Europe in mid-February 2027. Upcoming battery-related revisions to several Nintendo products in Europe, I think, are leading to this change. Right? Europe has just passed a law to where electronics need to have removable, swappable batteries, which means that these Switch systems are no longer compliant with European law. So instead of retooling them to have swappable batteries, I think they're just sunsetting these, right? I don't necessarily think this means that the rest of the world is going to see less of these yet. Are we going to get to that point? Obviously. I don't know that we're there yet. Maybe within a year or two.
I think they're still selling well enough that they discontinuing them at this point would just be silly, especially with how expensive the Switch 2 is and everything else is. And hell, like, they raise the price of the damn Switch 1, so...
Yeah. And again, look, we cannot stress this enough. Nintendo is not your friend. Neither is Sony. Neither is Microsoft. The second that it costs more for them to make OG Switch consoles than it does to sell them is when they will stop. They don't give a fuck. They're not, well, we'll take a loss because maybe some kid is going to want to switch at some point. They don't give a shit. The second it's not profitable, they will stop.
They'll take a loss on the system if they can make that loss up in selling games. As soon as they can't make that loss up in selling games, which they don't even like doing that to begin with, as long as if it's a net negative, then bye-bye Switch. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Which is going to be soon.
That makes sense. That's just good business. If they keep having to raise the price on the damn thing, it'll be sooner than later.
Yeah, right.
But if they can, if the world was a good and just place, they'd be able to find an affordable way to keep the original Switch on the market, to have that budget version of a game console out there for people to play. But unfortunately, everybody wants us to have AI, which is going to take all of the resources away, so nobody can afford to make electronics without them being super expensive. Time Extension reports, quote, our biggest launch, Commodore Callback smashes first month sales of C64 Ultimate in just 3 days. So, Commodore's making a smartphone, but not a smartphone? It's like a dumb smartphone?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this thing is.
Yeah, I don't get it, but it looks neat. Much has been said about the Commodore's International's upcoming Callback 8020 dumb phone, but according to the revived company, the device has already become its most successful product. In just 3 days, Callback matched the first month's sales of the Commodore 64 Ultimate, said Commodore on social media. Our biggest launch, our biggest week, the biggest moment in Commodore's modern history. This was always the plan. Grow Commodore so we can build even more retro products the community loves. Thank you for answering the callback and for believing in the vision. Yeah, okay. It's been described as like a middle point between a dumb phone and a smartphone, and Commodore, of all things, is making it. This is weird, and sure, go for it. Love it.
I don't. It's stupid. Sorry. It's fucking... Anyway.
It is stupid. That's why I love it.
That's fair. Time Extension reports it is not a decision we have taken lightly. Evercade is the next system to get a price hike thanks to Al. Or AI. It's one of the two. I think it's Al. Al's a fucking asshole. Blaze CEO Andrew Byte has announced that the company's Evercade range is getting a price increase across the board in the UK and Europe. From this month onwards, Evercade carts will increase to £25 in the UK from £19, while in Europe they will jump from €25 to €30. The Hyper Megatech Super Pocket handheld, which is compatible with the games, will see its price increase for about $10 across the various models. Pricing in the USA will remain unchanged at $30 for cartridges and $70 for Super Pocket, as the recent tariff reductions has helped us offset some of the pressure there. That sucks. I'm going to do a quick impression for you, Kris, and I want you to see what you think of this impression. Okay, I'm going to do an impression of a man who has never pleasured a woman. Well, actually, we don't pay the tariffs.
Ha ha! Good times.
I just, and I joke. Look, relax, children. It's just so fucking.
In the same vein of things not being great, Time Extension reports Germany's largest video game preservation effort to end, leaving its digital archive in peril. The decision came due to a, quote, lack of necessary public support. ICS is set to close just months after its funding from the Berlin Senate and the Federal Government Commissioner for Culture and the Media expired in April. Yeah, it's a big old archive that's closing down because, well, things cost money, and everything costs money, and everything costs more money than it should, and so we can't have nice things.
We cannot. We cannot, because... Oh, fuck. Anyway. Where am I? Time extension, not Kotaku. I'm pulling that one up in a second. This is probably the closest you're going to get to playing a real 3D Minecraft on the Game Boy. Minicraft is available to download now. This is really cool.
Yeah, it's wild looking.
It's wild looking. I don't know that you should do this.
No,
but
of course not.
But you
it's
can.
A terrible idea.
You can do this, and yeah. I mean, it's neat. This guy got Minecraft working on a Game Boy. Cool. Brendan Tobias, otherwise known as Game of Toby. Yeah, it's not exactly Minecraft. It's like a Minecraft-esque game, but yeah. It's
running on a Game Boy, and it's wacky looking. I love it. I'm going to skip ahead and take the one that means more to me, and you take the one that means more to you. IGN reports Nintendo confirms Mario Kart Tour shutdown after 7 years. No offline version offered. Man, you want to talk about... So, like, just... This is one of the things that Nintendo does that I absolutely hate. And this is the third time that they're doing it in a way that really bothers me. The first was Super Mario Bros. 35. That's a game that just went bye-bye. Actually, no, that's not the first time they did, because it was Pac-Man 99 went down and disappeared as well. But Super Mario Bros. 35 was a big punch in the gut, because that game was so much fun, and they just like, alright, you can't play this anymore. We're done. Like, not even you can't play this online, you just can't play this anymore.
You just can't play it, fuck
There's no way to play it, the end. They did it to me with Dr. Mario, the Dr. Mario World on mobile phones. It wasn't a perfect game, but it was a really neat iteration. It was a neat and unique iteration of Dr. Mario that I cannot understand why they didn't leave it playable. Like, you just take no online thing, just play the damn game. Play the puzzle mode. It's frickin' Dr. Mario. It doesn't need to be online, doesn't need your servers. Just, you can't play it. It's gone. But now Mario Kart Tour... And that's kind of the wild... I think it's the most wild of them all, because this game was pretty dang popular. Obviously, it's not the best Mario Kart experience in the world, but there's a lot of unique Mario Kart content here. And, again, I don't know why this is a game that needs to be played online. Like, why not make a version that you can buy and just play offline forever? Why not make that a thing? Look... Like you said, they're not your friend. Even when Nintendo does cool stuff, like the mineral thing that they were talking about earlier, they do this kind of shit too. Like, yeah, they do. And I'll never understand why, but it's one of the dangers of digital content. It's like, all right, here's the thing, you just can't play it anymore. We're gonna take this away. It's mine. Yep. I hate it. No matter how much time or money you invested into it, whatever. That's it. Anyway, I've got two stories that I'm going to read here about Sony, that are shitting on Sony. Final Weapon reports Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, purchase is blocked on PC in 132 countries. It is blocked due to the requirement of having to have PlayStation Network in order to play. Was a controversial decision that they came up with a little bit ago for what was it? Helldivers, I think, was the one where it was like, okay, you got to have this, and people freaked out and whatever the fuck. If you read through this list of the 132 countries, this is not like 132 countries you've never heard of. Like, nobody in Egypt
is going to be able to purchase this game. Nobody in Iran or Iraq or Jamaica or Kenya or Lithuania. Like, these are not countries you've never heard of. These are like, it's just wild to me that this is still a thing, that they haven't figured this out. Like, are you trying to tell me that there's nobody in Uganda that wants to play this? There's nobody in Vietnam that wants to play this? There's nobody in Zimbabwe? Like, 132 countries. It's fucking wild. That's really stupid. The other thing I thought was interesting, though, last week we did spend a lot of time shitting on Sony, and they went radio silent for a little bit, right? They didn't post anything. And then this week, they made a bunch of tweets after Xbox made their fucking bed and has to sleep in it. And every single one of their posts has been getting ratioed. Fucking crazy shit. People just talking about discs, talking about physical media, all of that stuff. Until we realize, unfortunately, that those people really are just the very loud but very small minority. Because they dropped a post of, hey, by the way, Call of Duty Black Ops and Call of Duty Black Ops 2 are now available on PS4 and PS5. The remastered versions, they're only $40. And all of a sudden, 34,000 likes on the post, 9,000 comments. We're no longer ratioed. Because the casuals don't actually give a fuck. It's been, I don't know if you've seen this at all this week, Kris. I don't know, like, what your algorithm feeds to you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not upset about it. I am upset about it. But when I see posts of, like, proudly part of the 15%, right? Because they claim that, like, only 15% of people are physical gamers. Proudly part of the 15%. And people are showing off their game collections. They show off, like, a collection between PS4 and PS5 games, and there's like 20 games there physically. That's not making the impact that you think it is. It just isn't. Like, you're exactly who they're talking about. Like, you didn't buy enough games. It's just not a thing. I would be so happy if they walk this decision back. If they were like, you know what, we're not gonna make games anymore physically, but we're gonna make sure, like, if they could just come out and make that commitment, we're gonna make sure that there's a way to play games physically, whether that's through a fucking flash drive, or whether we will commit to selling an add-on disk drive, and other companies can print discs. If they would just do that, it would be a huge, I think, gesture of goodwill, and it would instantly put them back in everybody's good graces. That being the case, it just is what it is, guys. It bums me out. It really does. But, like, your collection behind you, Kris, that everybody sees every week is not the norm.
No, it's not.
Or actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say that. It maybe is the norm because, like, how many PS4 and PS5 games did you buy physically?
Almost none.
Yeah, exactly.
No PS5, because I don't have a PS5. PS4?
Exactly.
I have, like 6, something like that.
Versus how many retro games here. Because that's just not what
but
you
I mean, also,
collect.
look at the shelf behind me. Look how many Switch games there are.
Yeah.
There's a metric ton of Switch physical games. Because that's
where you are.
That's where
a lot of physical collectors are. Like,
yeah, I think the physical business is like, I don't know, 30-40% of Nintendo's business. That's why they're not jumping out of the physical space as quick as Sony is. Because
they will.
They will if the market trends that way. Then they will. As soon as it becomes not profitable, then the big picture, of course they'll back out. But for now, that's where their audience is, and that gets them enough to make that worthwhile to them.
Yeah.
As soon as it doesn't,
it's still enough.
They're not doing it out of altruism.
They
do
not
it because
give a fuck.
they can make money off of it. And also, Nintendo's always been,
weird.
They've historically been, like weird is the word for it, but they've historically been like, they don't jump on trends, Like, I think back to like...
No, they do what they're going to do.
The eShop in the first place, right? With digital games. Like, look at the way they handled WiiWare. It was so different. They were not like, this is not where we're going to sell our regular games. We're going to put a hard cap on how big a digital game can be, because digital games are going to be different from physical games. Hell, connecting to the internet in the first place was such a huge... Like, they were so behind the curve on that, because they sat back and were like, let's just see if this internet thing's a fad, shall we? Like, I don't... Yeah, they're just not the kind of company that gets there on the same wavelength, and sometimes never. They jumped in with optical media for a little while there, and they said, you know what, fuck it, we're sticking with cartridges.
You know what? This is stupid. I'm out.
Yeah, we like discs. We like that they're cheap to make. They make us a whole bunch of money, but there are things about our products that we can't accomplish that we want to do on cartridges that we can't do on discs. So fuck all the other great things about discs. This is what we want to do. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They're just built different. They're insane.
They
sometimes
are indeed.
in good ways, sometimes in bad ways. They're just fucking nuts. Speaking of fucking nuts, Polygon reports your favorite Pokemon now has an official soccer team. Sure, okay. Full list of clubs and their partner Pokemon. So every soccer club has a partner Pokemon now.
It's fucking awesome.
Fantastic.
This is fun. In a world of shit. This is great. I mean, it's all Japanese soccer clubs, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But, like, maybe you'll get into following, I don't know, the Vanruru Hachinohe, because they have an Inkay and a Malamar. Like, I love that. Soccer's been interesting this week. I just love that story. I also love this story. I don't care. Polygon reports Marvel Rivals' new Captain America swimsuit costume is the game's most not safe for work skin, because Jesus Christ, the size of the hog on that man, it's got jiggle physics as well. Honestly, stay with me here, kids. As well it should. We've had decades of jiggly titties and fucking camel toe and big wiggly asses. And there are plenty of gamers out there being like, what I would like is a big spandex cock flopping around. That's what I'm into. And Marvel Rivals was like, you know what? That is America's cock. And they've given it to you. I think they've nerfed it a little bit.
America's ass is certainly here too, but what I find fascinating is that they went through with this. Like, they made this model, and they were like, no. Captain America has got a comedically large dong. Like, just... It's got its own animation. This is a tube of cookie dough stuffed down his pants.
It's fucking awesome. And good. It's about fucking time. Equal opportunity gooning. Have at it, kids.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. That's it. You're not going to get any better than Captain America's wang. So we're going to take ourselves... That's going to wrap things up for week-old news, and we're going to take ourselves another break. When we come back, we're going to check in with the checkpoint. You're listening to the Strange Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Do you miss the days when you'd get a fresh issue of Nintendo Power in the mail every month? It was stacked with reviews, previews, and all manner of cool new stuff about the world of Nintendo, and it even came with a free poster. Well, you don't have to miss those days anymore because Nintendo Force is here. Functioning as a spiritual successor to Nintendo's classic magazine, Nintendo Force is staffed with top-notch writing talent, and me for some reason, to deliver fresh new reviews, previews, and more right to your door every other month. And yes, posters are still included, except ours are double-sided. So if you want the thrill of learning all about the world of Nintendo in physical format, head on over to NintendoForceMagazine.com and learn all about it. Nintendo Force Magazine, the force of Nintendo fans. Okay, everybody, we're back. We Dan's ears were on fire. And when he talked about Cybernoid, it was very exciting, and I almost fell asleep because it's late for me. It's past time for me to start getting ready for bed because I'm old and tired. But we're gonna keep it together, and we're gonna keep talking because that's what we do. It means it's time to check in with the checkpoint.
Checkpoint.
This is where Dan and I talk about what we've been up to, and you were going to talk about a game that you got a review code for at a certain point. You were talking about, what was the game that you were under embargo last week for?
Still under embargo until the 14th.
Until the 14th. Yes, well, yep. I must say I am now too. I got assigned to that very game to review for Nintendo Force, and I just got the download code today, so I haven't started it yet, but...
Man,
I am curious. I'm very excited about it.
I am so interested in hearing what you have to say about it, because I know we're like vague booking here, but like I fucking loved it. I loved it. I finished it last night. I'm really excited to write the review. Really solid game. We'll talk more about it next week. Yeah. Let's talk Rhythm Heaven, because we didn't get to talk that last week.
Yeah, we didn't get to talk Rhythm Heaven, and I also want to talk Supergirl, because I saw Supergirl.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, all right.
What do you want to do first? Rhythm Heaven or Supergirl?
Let me just bang out a few other things just to say them. I'm still playing Deltarune with John. It's great. I played a bunch more Star Fox. I did another path, and it is still fucking fantastic. I love Star Fox on Switch 2. It's great. I tried the demo for the new Yoshi game. It's okay. I cannot see why they think this is a $70 game. I'm mystified. I'm utterly mystified. I've been playing Star Fox and Rhythm Heaven, which are not $70 games. I don't understand at all. Not even a little. And then on NSO, they dropped a handful of new games, some cool stuff, Fortified Zone and Wario Land for Game Boy. And then the Game Boy Advance game, Dr. Mario and Puzzle League, which I had not previously spent very much time on. I booted it up once, but I was like, okay, it's Dr. Mario. I have this already in many places, and same with Puzzle League. So earlier this evening, I spent the first time I spent a decent amount of time with it, and I got to say that it controls well. It looks nice enough, but I still think this is one of the worst ways to play both of these games. I guess having them both on the single cartridge back then was a pretty cool thing, kind of like Tetris and Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
So back in the days of Game Boy Advance, that was kind of neat, but like, the version of Fever in Dr. Mario in this Dr. Mario and Puzzle League is pretty lame. Like, it's really different, and it's missing a bunch of the song, which is weird. And then, like, they have all 4 songs in it, like the 2 original Hip Tanaka songs and the 2 extra ones they added for Dr. Mario 64. But the instrument choices are very strange. And then Puzzle League is kind of the same situation. It's like, the music's good, but not great. And it's missing that, like, paneled upon funky character design stuff that they have in Japan. So it's okay. I'm glad it's on NSO, because it's like, this is neat to be able to experience all these different versions of Dr. Mario that are on these different platforms. I love that they're doing that. I love that they're dropping multiple versions of the same game on the different platforms, because if you had this cartridge, you probably love these versions, because they control great. But anywho's, the real business. Let's do Supergirl first.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
Right?
I don't see what the big deal is about.
It's not... Okay. Here's the problem, I think, with Supergirl. Supergirl feels like, to me, right, after watching it, I felt it was messy. I felt like it would have been way better as a TV show. I felt like I needed more time with the character. Like, I've read the comic book. Woman of Tomorrow is...
See, I have not read Woman of Tomorrow. I really want to now, after enjoying the movie. And it's funny you're saying that about... Because that's kind of how I felt about Superman. Remember when we talked about that? Like, I felt like we needed more time to get to learn these characters.
Yeah. And but more to the point of, like, I was fine with Kara, with her characterization. I know there's been some, like, complaining in different spaces about, like, where does this movie actually take place? Because the ending scene in Superman, she comes back in costume from, like, being off planet for her birthday, picks up Krypto, and then she goes back out for her birthday. Like, is this movie taking place a year after Superman? Is this that same week? Now,
Did she come back for her birthday? I don't think she came back for her birthday. I think she just came back.
Well, no, she came back. Cal says she came back from her birthday week. She goes to a Red Sun so that she can party. And, like, they mentioned that it's her birthday week in the Superman movie. I might be misremembering. I don't think I am.
I'm loading up on the Plex right now.
Okay.
Because I remember her coming back. I remember that, but I didn't remember them specifically calling out it being for her birthday.
And if I'm wrong, I take that back. I have seen people complaining about that online as well. I don't actually give a shit. I think there's maybe a bit of cleaner storytelling that could have been done to maybe establish where this movie takes place. Timeline-wise, other than that, I don't really care. I think we maybe needed a couple more minutes to, like, we get the parents getting killed. The spoilers, right? We get the parents getting killed. And then the little girl, whose name I can't fucking remember right now. What was the little girl's name?
I don't know. I'm terrible with names.
Fuck. I know. I can't remember it right now. We get the little girl immediately going for revenge. Like, going to a bar with a sword and all of that. Like, obviously she loved her parents, but I don't love mine. I maybe needed a little bit more story to, like, establish why she's, like, going on this. And not, like, 10 minutes... like 2 minutes of seeing them as a family. It was a bit messy. That being said, I thought it was great. It's not great, but I thought it was great. Does that make sense? This feels like... It feels like a Marvel movie in as far as, like, they've already earned a bunch of goodwill, and this is just like an okay Marvel movie. And I think maybe that's the problem why it's getting bashed so hard, is because while yes, superhero fatigue is real, this is only the second film in the DCU. And if we're being honest, this didn't feel big enough or good enough to be the second film in the DCU. It needed to be a home run. It was like a triple. It's okay that it's a triple. It's a perfectly good movie. Millie Alcock is fucking awesome as Kara. She is great.
She was great. I really enjoyed watching her.
I thought she was great.
No, it's not her birthday.
Oh, okay. Then I take that shit back.
Thanks for watching him, bitch. And then Superman says she likes to party on what's the line? She likes to go and party on other planets with red suns because of her metabolism. That's it. That's just that she likes to go to parties.
So even that, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, so that's even less of a criticism than I initially thought. I thought it was great. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. I think so. My favorite scene in the movie, I thought the scene that just really fucking nailed it was when she's super, super frustrated and overwhelmed, and before she has her big like hero moment, and she flies up into space, and that silent scream was just a beautiful piece of filmmaking.
Yeah,
I just thought fantastic. That was. I was like, all right, like I'm going to excuse a whole bunch of shit. I'm going to excuse the fact that Jason Momoa has done literally fuck all as Lobo. That could have been anybody. That could have been you or me, Kris.
I don't know that I agree with that, but
it was.
I really enjoyed him. I thought he was perfectly fun. I thought there could have been more, but I was glad. I think there was exactly enough of him to not take away from the fact that it's not his movie. He was just this other character that was in it. I think more than I think if they had done more with Lobo, then it wouldn't have been. It would have been scene stealing. This was a Supergirl movie. It could have been. He was there to do his thing, and and Karen and I both thought he was great. And used just enough. I would like to see more of him, but in a different context. But that kind of goes to one of the things so we didn't take the kids with us to see it because neither of them were all that interested in it, which kind of surprised me.
My kids weren't either.
When we were there, I was really glad that we didn't bring the kids because the tone of this movie is very strange. And I understand why this was the follow-up to Superman. Because this is the complete opposite side of that coin. There's almost no color in this movie. It is so much less optimistic. She's such a different character, and I liked that about it. It made it a very strange watch. Like this is just a really weird tone for a superhero movie, and I respect the hell out of it. I respect the hell out of the choice. I will say that there was so much freaking lens flare in this movie, it would have made J.J. Abrams blush, which was
there is a lot of lens flare.
That was a choice. This movie is lens flary as fuck, and I like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, but wow, did this movie overdo it on the lens flare. But like, man, when it came through, like when Crypto got up at the end.
Yep.
That really hit. It really hit when it did. I don't necessarily share your criticism about the girl's family. Like I kind of felt like we got enough of that because it wasn't. Her purpose wasn't like it was believable enough that it was her family, and it was just so quick and brutal. Like I think that was kind of the point that they were making, was that everything was fine until it wasn't. Her brother comes out of the room like to do like kind of a joke thing, and all of a sudden, that's it. He dead, she dead, he dead, they all dead. But her whole point wasn't to have like this deep backstory. She was this foil to Kara, like was all in service of Kara's story. So that didn't really bug me. At least not in my watching. This is just my gut reactions to it. My only issues with it were like it had a very strange tone. I know a lot of people were complaining about that was the Jimmy Eat World song or something with the slow motion scene.
There was a lot of needle drops in this, but like whatever.
There were a lot of needle drops in it, but none of them bothered me, and I thought that one was really good. I thought that was a cool reinvention of that song, because like, yeah, it's kind of a lame song, but like, take those lyrics and put them in a different context and have like a girl sing it, make it sound all pretty, just like this really awesome slow motion battle sequence. Yeah. Also, Scott Snyder, eat your heart out. This is how you do slow motion and not overdo it. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed that scene, and I guess maybe because I'm not overly familiar, like I know the original version, of that song. When I'm like overly familiar with it, I never really listened to it all that much. I thought it was a really cool way to repurpose that song, and I thought so too, very well. Big thumbs up. I really like this movie. People are just mean.
I had a great time watching this movie. I think, unfortunately, this movie was fucking doomed from the start, which is crazy. I mean, it is officially a flop.
It is officially a flop. And
it just
there's no quieting the... Like, I mean, not to throw labels around, but it's just like with the Marvels. It's... The flagrant misogyny online about this movie is unbelievable. Absurd. Like, the Marvels was fucking great. Marvels was great. To this day, do not understand why people hate on that movie so much, other than, like, they didn't like Brie Larson telling people that, like, you know what? I don't really care what men have to say about this movie. It's not for them. Like, it's just talk about target audiences. What the fuck, man? Like...
Not everything has to be for you.
Everything has to be for everybody. Like, The Marvels was such a fun movie. I had such a blast watching that movie. Of course it had flaws. Everything has flaws. I didn't love the villain in this movie. Who the fuck cares? I hated him, but you're supposed to hate him. And
yeah,
this was a decent and different superhero movie. I thought it was cool, and I'm really glad I got to go see it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This movie, it appears that right now, when it's coming to digital later this month. Like, they're already putting it on digital. I'm really excited to buy the 4K of this and watch it at home. I think the kids will like it. I want to see it again. I did really enjoy it. It's projected that this movie is going to hit around 200 million worldwide, which Venom made over 800 million worldwide. And you're right, the amount of people I've seen online, just this fucking toxic manosphere bullshit of like, Millie Alcock's not hot enough, she looks like a dude. I'm like, dude, first of all, you're fucking crazy. Second of all, she wouldn't fuck you anyway. Third of all, that's not what we judge performances on, you fucking children. Stop
I also
it.
Saw,
like,
just earlier tonight on Facebook, I saw like this meme post thing of just like Green Lantern, Catwoman, like all the worst superhero movies, and like, is Supergirl worse than all of these movies?
No,
it's not even in the same conversation of those movies, because it's not even bad at all. It was good. It was decent. It wasn't the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life, but holy shit, where are you getting this from?
Have you seen that fucking Catwoman movie? Holy shit!
I won't. I will not make myself do it.
It's awful. I think Halle Berry is a great actress. I know, I'm fucking breaking news here. Halle Berry's pretty fucking talented. That movie is utter garbage. Have you seen Elektra? I like Jennifer Garner a lot too. That movie's a piece of shit. Not because she's a woman. Not at all. That movie fucking sucks on toast. So does Dolph Lundgren's Punisher. That movie's a piece of shit too. Like, god damn. It's so weird. I'm so glad you liked it. I really am.
I really did. I thought it was great.
I really just enjoyed it. I had a good... It was... Am I expecting the Odyssey when I go to see Supergirl? No. That's why I'm also going to go see the Odyssey. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to fucking see that. As an aside, I'm getting tickets for IMAX. I want to see The Odyssey in a giant IMAX theater. I'm very excited. Anyway.
So now talk to me about Rhythm Heaven.
It's good. Good night. No, it is, so I turned the voice off.
Yes, I turned the voice off during the demo, and I was glad that carried over when I started.
And she hung her head in sadness.
That made me sad for a minute, but then it's like, but this is how I play all my Rhythm Heaven games. I don't want that voice talking to me.
I know. I did not like the voice, but the fact that you, like, turn the voice off, and then when you exit the menu screen, you see her in the corner, like... I was like, oh, dude, that's fucked up. I feel kind of bad now. Like, your voice was super fucking annoying, though. Like, don't have an annoying-ass voice, and I won't have you do that. The moon ghost thing. Did you get to that one? Where you're like the little ghost and you have to sneak?
You're sneaking past the fence? Ooh, yeah.
When he's about to sneeze? I don't think that one works. Like, I really don't think that one actually works. Because I've been fucking killing it on the rest of them. That one? Holy shit, can I not figure that one out? God damn it.
It works. I'm past that one, yeah.
I mean, no, I passed it, but I don't think it works very well. Like, I just think, like, that one, I think, that's the only one that I've played so far where I'm like, this isn't great. I'm not having fun with this one. I'm not going to come back to this one in particular.
All right, that's fair. I mean, I got a kick out of that one. I don't think I got an amazing on that one. I think I got up to a really good, but I'm not really. Once I finish one, I'm not going back to them to go for amazings yet. I'm probably going to go back to that later.
Yeah.
I just finished I think the group after that one, which is like with the. Did you get to the Thundercloud? With the aliens dodging the lightning bolts?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, that one's also pretty tough with the timing. Like, that one's gotta be really precise with the timing. That took me a minute to really figure out. But that's a really fun level because of just, there's a cloud and he goes chupa chupa and then he strikes you with lightning. But the one that really threw me for a loop, that the first one that I actually struggled on, because I didn't really struggle on the moon one. Like, I missed a few on my first try, but didn't really hold me back much. The first one I struggled on is in this next group. That's you're a robot in a factory that makes puddings, and you have to catch these puddings as they sorry, my eyes just itch really bad all of a sudden. So you're a robot in a factory, and the factory will drop puddings, and you have to catch them, but like your hand's always out. You have to catch them by moving your hand down as they fall. So the timing was really
okay. Yeah,
I had to stop looking at the screen, right? Because like looking at the screen was throwing off my timing. I just had to listen for what the game wanted the timing to be for when to press the button. But it's not just that, because you also have to listen for the audio cue for when it's spitting out a defective pudding that you have to shoot with your laser eyes. Because Rhythm Heaven.
Obviously.
It's hilarious. But that one was that's the first one I really struggled on. That took me a couple of tries to get through enough where I felt like I could move on, because it's not like I want to like get a terrible score and then eventually hit the remix and be like, well, shit, I don't remember how to do this at all. So I wanted to make sure I got it at least well enough to do the remix. I really enjoy it. It is probably the single player stuff is probably my least favorite of the Rhythm Heaven series, which is again like, pick your favorite orgasm kind of thing. Not to use that expression again. I love it. I think it's great. Fantastic. It's great. I'm having a blast. But if I'm thinking back to the other ones, like, I still think Fever for Wii is my favorite. But I also love Megamix. Fever's so good. The original DS one is great. And I say original, I know the original was actually Game Boy Advance. I just meant here in North America because we didn't get the GBA one. And
the rest of the world doesn't exist.
Exactly. I love all the Rhythm Heaven games. The single player stuff, as has been very, very good, but I think it's a slight step back from where we were in even the new stuff that was added for Megamix, like the Lumberjack. God, Lumberjack was great. On the opposite side of the spectrum, the multiplayer is fucking great. Have you done
We have
multiplayer
not
yet?
done any multiplayer yet. Tiff has been working like crazy hours this week. Yeah.
The multiplayer is fantastic. It is the best multiplayer has been in Rhythm Heaven, no question in my mind. Because, you know, the multiplayer in previous games has been okay. This is like, especially the one that they showed off at the latest Nintendo Direct, the one with where you see the guys going after cake. Oh my god! So you four of you sit around a table, and then like there's a clock, and it's like, all right, when the clock reaches 3 o'clock, you all have to grab cake, and whoever gets closest to like exactly on point, like as far as when it reaches 3 o'clock, gets the cake, and it is fucking hilarious every time, and I don't know why. It just works so well. That game is great. And the other ones are very, very good too. Like all the multiplayer ones, we played every single multiplayer stage, just the first round of it, because there's like different versions as you go, and they're really different from one another. They're great. They're really, really, really good. The multiplayer really shines in this game, and I love that.
It's just so joyful, right? Like it's just fun. It's just fun. It's just a fun game.
Good, clean fun.
That's right. The way I like it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Squeaky
Rhythm Heaven is
is
fucking dope. I'm so happy that I picked it up.
I'm so happy it exists.
Yeah. I can't talk about the other game I'm playing. I did pick up a couple games in the Steam sale, and I was gifted a game. I was gifted Octopath Traveler 2, which I'm legitimately really excited to get into. I really want to check that out. I haven't played any of the Octopath Traveler games, so thank you very, very much for that. I picked up TR-49, which is apparently an outstanding puzzle game, and Parallel Experiment, also another very good puzzle game. I picked both of those up on the Steam Summer Sale, as well as Memories in Orbit, or Mio, that Metroidvania by the studio that's apparently closing down. I also grabbed that on the Summer Sale. I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I've had to finish the game that I'm playing for review. But hopefully I'll be able to talk about those next week.
All right.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's it. It is past my bedtime, so we are going to call it a night. Thank you for watching and or listening to all of our audience. And that is our show. Join us next time for another episode of the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. We actually don't have a plan for next week. This is one of those months where we've got an extra week, and we haven't figured out what we're going to fill it with.
I'll come up with something.
I'm sure you will, or I will, or we will. Who knows? I got a couple people I might want to interview. Like, let's see if we would get somebody, like a guest on. That could be fun. We'll see.
I don't know. Do you want to just play, like, the internet games like they do on other podcasts? Like, all right, like, see if we can say the same word within 10 tries. Right? Like, you just start, like, 3, 2, 1, say a word, and then, like, you have to try and get to the same word after 10 tries. Tiff and I tried it. We got the same word on the first try.
Okay.
We both said Naugahyde.
Of course you did. All right, well, we'll figure it out. We're on
I don't know.
Social media
We're not going to do
platforms.
that, but it might be fun.
If you want to get in touch with us, we are very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to the show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Square Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. I'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is almost it. I do want to plug one more thing. Just this past week, Ellie and I started our streaming show, Stone Age Gamer Generations, where I am making her play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, and she is going to be making me play various Roblox games on her terms. So it has been... Our first episode was a trip. It was, I learned a lot about how to stream with my daughter and how to keep her involved and interested. And I think the next episode's going to go even better, but we will see how that all shakes out. But it's on the Geekade Twitch channel, just twitch.com/Geekade. And it's every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so at least for the rest of the summer. So let's see how that rolls. And that is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.